Welcome to A Social Disease, a podcast for recapping and relating to Degrassi the Next Class. I'm your host, Jessie Mack.
And I'm Carly Jo Gear, also a host.
This show is not for kids, as we have frank discussions about sex, drugs, and violence. Listener discretion advised.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hey!
Hey, party in the house. We're Maryanne and I, who I have as my guest, Maryanne Carlson.
Hello.
We're recording on location at the house she's babysitting at. There are children age appropriate for Degrassi in the house. Luckily, there's another sitter here. There was three of us.
Jeez.
Babysitting the crap out of those kids. AKA, I was like, do I have to buy food on my way or can I just eat what's in the house? And Miriam was like, we're making breakfast for dinner.
Nice.
So I had myself a nice egg sandwich.
Yeah,
I'm ready to talk about some Degrassi. And we also were like, kids, you should watch Degrassi on Netflix, but don't listen to this podcast. So
maybe they're going down there to start it right now.
let's hope. No, they were going to watch Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
Like normal kids.
Right.
It's only as adults watching Degrassi. But yeah, so today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 9, hashtag These Are My Confessions. But yeah, we want to get going with some juicy information from Maryanne based on these formed questions from Jessie.
All right, so what were you like in high school versus who you are today?
In high school, I was extremely shy. First of all, let me preface this with that. I went to a New England prep school,
Ooh.
Lawrence Academy in Groton, Massachusetts.
Is that West?
No, it's in the East.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just it's by Lowell.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I moved from a school of all children from Westford,
Massachusetts.
into Westford, Massachusetts, into a diverse school of half border, half day. And
wait, half border, half day?
yes,
That means like
No clue what that means.
some kids lived there?
some kids lived there because they were kids.
Whoa.
One of my best friends was from Japan.
Oh, that's right.
geez.
Remember you talking
Yes,
about that.
and so my brother dated a girl from Germany.
Oh.
Yeah, danke.
Yeah, I was basically friends with the international students, not.
Because fuck white people.
Yes, exactly. So I was really shy because, like, I don't know, it was meeting new people is the hardest thing and it still is for me to do. But once I get to know somebody, I'm like, yes, done, best friends forever.
Oh, it's crazy because Maryanne often talks about being like shy and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like,
Yeah.
when we go out drinking, everyone's like, Maryanne's life of the party. And I'm
Right.
like, where's this social anxiety, Maryanne? Like, what are you
Well, there wasn't alcohol in high school.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Right. And
There wasn't?
it still is here when I'm in a group of like people I do not know, and I usually like cling on to one person. But high school, because my high school was a prep school, it was weird. I was just remembering this the other day too, talking to another friend of ours, and like you had to play a sport. We didn't have gym class.
What?
So, yes, there was no gym class.
That's
so
crazy.
after school,
Yeah.
you had to play a sport. So I played field hockey, ice hockey,
Oh, geez.
and lacrosse.
So so instead of having like gym class,
Mhm.
you were forced to play a sport.
Yes.
Everyone had to be on a team.
Yes.
Were there still tryouts? Or...
For varsity, yeah.
Okay.
So I was mostly on JV teams because I wasn't really into the sports. I liked theater. And so after practice, I'd go to rehearse the play.
Nice.
And so I was, because the school was small, it's like you're friends with kind of everybody, but you know, people liked me and people were like, yeah, they were nice to me, but I like never went to teen parties. If there were any, maybe there weren't, but like in my mind, there wasn't any.
There's no keggers. There was
No
no.
keggers.
You're saying there was
Yeah.
no bush parties.
I didn't know about any of the parties in high school. So.
Oh no, So my best friend in high school, Anna, she drank through pretty much all of high school, and they purposefully didn't invite me to those parties because they knew that I was like mad afraid of getting caught. Like I was just, I was convinced that like if I put alcohol to my lips, cops would kick down the door and be like, everybody on the ground.
Yep.
You're all going to jail for life.
You're going to
And I'd be like,
jail.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they just knew not to invite me to their teen drinking parties.
Yeah, and I'm sure there were parties, but I just never went or was invited or whatever. But like, you know, I'd hang out in the dorm rooms, and like girls could go to the guys' dorm rooms, but guys couldn't go to the girls' dorm rooms.
What?
Yeah, it was wild.
So, like,
times at Lawrence Academy.
that is so interesting.
Yeah. But I was quiet. I remember, so here's something funny, because I'm a sheltered child.
That's true.
I was drawing, in ninth grade, I was drawing on the board, because I was a nerd, and drawing a picture of a cat, and I gave it a nice big tail. And these boys, I think it was either Adam or Ryan Fall. I can't remember which
Those
one.
assholes.
They're twins.
Ooh.
I'm friends with them on Facebook.
So when they listen to this, I tag it and listen
Exactly.
and hear you were talking shit.
Mm-hmm. So one of them was like, "Look at you drew the cat with a boner," and I was like, "What's that?" Because I had no idea.
If we had gone to school together, I would have been the kid in class and been like, Maryanne, come here, I'll tell you what a boner is.
Thank you so much. I didn't have one of those.
I would have told you what a boner was.
Oh, that's all I needed. I just needed someone to tell me what a boner is so I could move ahead in my life. But
You needed a latchkey kid in your life to.
I did. I needed somebody not as sheltered.
Mhm.
But yeah, and so in comparison with nowadays, I definitely have a lot more confidence in myself. And so, I think in high school I hid my true self a lot and didn't like express who I am or even know who I was.
Right.
And now that I'm 37, I went to school in the 90s, high school, 1996, class of 2000.
Yeah.
Yes, I graduated in 2000, guys.
What was it like thinking the world was going to end
When
you graduated?
wild. We had to turn off our computer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Get off the internet.
Mom,
I need to use the
Mom,
phone.
I'm on the phone. And so now that I'm older and wiser, I think I still make friends the same way, which is very shy at first. But then once somebody opens up to me, I'm like theirs for life, unless they fuck me over. Then I hold a grudge for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I forgive them afterwards, and it's fine, whatever. But like having a few close friends and then just being friendly to everybody, which is kind of exactly how I was in high school. I had like my best friends were like Ava Akamatsu and Laura Kelleher. She's an author now. I just saw on Facebook.
Oh,
Damn.
good for her.
Good for her. She wrote a story about, because she's from Korea, she was adopted. She wrote a story about going to Korea and finding her birth family.
Wow.
I was like,
cool.
I didn't know that. Yeah, so that's that. And now I'm much more of a partier than
Right?
back in. I mean, my voice has changed and become sultry because I go out a lot.
You'll constantly have party girl voice. Oh, should we ask her first? We didn't ask Lyndon last time, but he just answered it naturally. Your relationship with Degrassi, just so people know.
Well, I can answer that question.
Yes. What is your relationship?
My relationship with Degrassi is I don't have one.
Yep.
It's very new. It's very fresh. I went over to Carly's house and we watched the old Degrassi, an episode.
Oh, because I got you drunk.
Right. And then I bought you a ticket to Dublin.
Yeah, I think that was the agreement, was that I was like, if you get me drunk and hit purchase on this ticket to Ireland, you have to watch Degrassi.
Yeah. And so we watched the episode with your
Manny
costume.
Santos. Yeah, you got the look.
Yeah.
I believe is the name of the episode. The Manny Santos thong episode. Very important in the canon of Degrassi.
Yes. And I think we watched like 2 or 3 of those episodes.
Yeah.
And then I watched this one episode that we're talking about today. And I was like, who are all these people? I don't know them. And then I was like text messaging. So like the shows I watched in high school, again, 96 to 2000. And as you heard, I was a very busy bee with all of my sports and theater and after school activities. I didn't watch a lot of stuff, but I did watch like Saved by the Bell and
Zach Morris is trash.
Yep.
Yeah.
And TGIF, all those shows.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, what a lineup.
Yeah.
They really had a fucking lit ass program.
It was
for
great in
many
those
years.
Yeah.
Boy Meets
Friday
World.
and
Boy Meets
Saturday
World.
night, because Saturday
Yeah.
it's Nick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Snick.
Yes.
Man.
Exactly.
That's so
Alex
real.
Mack. Like I loved. I
Yes.
loved those.
Dude,
those are the shows that I watched.
What do kids watch these days on Friday and Saturday nights? Like, they're YouTube and
They watch
the
YouTube.
Netflix.
they like YouTube stars.
They watch the YouTube.
They asked me what my favorite YouTube star is. I'm like,
I know. I'm
don't
like,
know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Didn't even know that this new one came out until currently.
Yep.
So
So
I
I
was like
alerted you.
confused. I was like, wait a minute. So, the only reboots I've watched is like Gilmore Girls, the reboot, or Fuller House.
You love some Fuller House.
That's Stephanie. I love her. Really relate to her about a woman her age,
Yep.
her character, all crazy and wild, just like me.
As we're staring at a picture of a horse, it's acting wild.
It is. The man is, I don't even know what he's sitting on.
Large wheels.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my so I will probably be asking a lot of, who's this person? I had to text Carly Jo
Yeah,
during
you
it.
need
I
a
watched the
backstory.
episode twice because I was like, I don't even know.
Oh,
So the
geez.
person that I would have a crush on
Mhm.
on that show back then would definitely have been girl in the glasses who took them off to go on the date, the boy that she was playing magic with.
Oh, Hunter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Hunter was definitely like the kind of quiet but cool, quirky, like a little, like the personality. He
Mhm.
wasn't a jock. He wasn't like a nerd
Now
too
you
much.
ready for a
Oh, Hunter's
surprise?
a
Oh my
nerd.
Hunter is such a nerd. He
Really?
brought a gun to school. He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't get
Well,
caught.
in this episode.
yeah, like central. No,
he's
but wasn't
been
that?
he's been through therapy now. So.
Yes,
Great.
Yeah.
So
So that
that's
was
why-
Yeah.
yeah, that was your crush too, right, Jesse?
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
Yeah.
fine. It's okay.
So no, I have no shame in that.
I just
I'm
wanted to drop
sure
the bomb on you.
I'm sure that the boys that I had crushes on in high school
Also brought guns
also
to
brought
school.
guns to school. Although it wasn't a thing till after Columbine, and that didn't happen till '98.
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
Right.
But also it's because you like white boys, so you know.
It's true.
I mean, just by statistics,
It's
I think
true.
probably
It's
at least
true.
one of them brought a gun to school.
They
at some
all
point.
had guns, although not the boarding students. They'd get kicked out. And then nowadays, probably the same exact. My taste in men has not changed. Now,
Mine either.
He would have needed to grow a beard.
yeah, when he grows a beard, I
Mhm.
definitely
We can call
will be
you.
getting on that. Cause like that guy that the one blue-haired girl is crushing on.
Tiny.
No,
No,
the blue-haired girl.
Oh, I'm
Zig.
sorry.
I
Lola,
know who
late-
Tiny is.
Lola later has blue hair. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
So
Oh yeah, Zig.
Zig, yes. So I feel like he's the one that probably everybody would be like, "Oh my God, Zig," but I was like, I don't
I
like
mean,
him.
That's who Lyndon wanted. So.
right? But it's like for his body,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
you know,
100%.
And so I didn't really like him. That other kid was a jerk. The one who brought that girl with the glasses, then no glasses to the party.
Oh yeah, Boz.
Yeah, I didn't like him
So
at all.
it's actually pronounced Baz. We
I
found
was
out
gonna
this
say
episode.
she was saying, yeah,
This is the
Baz.
first time his name has been spoken out loud.
Really?
Baz.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we totally mispronounced like
But
all these people's names at the beginning because they didn't say them out loud until like several episodes in.
you know what?
And so
I've-
you're just looking him up and reading them.
What I'm
as-
confused about is that my question is it like aunt versus aunt though?
I don't know. I mean, I tried to look up pronunciations of it and I couldn't find any.
And whenever I listen to a podcast and somebody is being introduced and they're like, "How do you say your name?" And a lot of times people are like, "Either this way or this way," and they're like, "But what do you prefer?" And they're like,
Mhm.
"Well, I don't
Yeah.
care. Whatever you want to say."
I need to. I'm gonna get on Tinder real quick and try and find somebody with that name. I'm sure I could.
Yeah.
And be like, tell me how you pronounce your name.
Yep. But yeah, I think I would stick with like he'd just have to grow a beard.
Yep.
But that's the same kind of like owns a pool.
That's really all you're looking for. Money.
Money, money, money.
Cool. Excellent. All right. So we open with Grace testing Zig on his fake ID info. First things first, why is the ID from Florida? That was my question. When they're in Canada, why were they like, let's get a foreign country ID?
Right.
Or is it just Degrassi always trying to
forgot it was in
be
Canada.
America? Like, I feel like they're constantly doing things to make it seem like it's more American. Like, he's going to
Mhm.
Caltech,
But they say
which is in
sorry
California. They do absolutely say Suri in a boot. Yeah, it's palpable.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Zig is worried that he doesn't look like Rory Tomlinson.
And he doesn't.
He
Spoiler
doesn't, but
alert.
Grace assures him that they're basically identical, all the way down to the dimples. Yeah, Zig is shocked Grace has noticed his dimples when Tiny enters, assuming that Grace is in love with Zig because, again, you noticed his dimples?
Mhm.
Honestly, though, I kind of feel like this is like a reductress article. Did you guys get that vibe of like how to tell if she likes you by how many times she notices your dimples? Like that's what it read to me. I was like, why are we really reading into this? I feel like dimples are just cute and people often notice
Right.
them.
Oh, they're very noticeable because they're unique. You have them.
I have dimples.
You
as
do. I've never talked to you about them.
I'll-
though,
I know,
because,
you're
because
not-
again, I don't have a crush on you. Like
Wait.
she has a crush on.
Is
Zig.
this why I'm single? Because I've never had a man say anything about my dimples.
Mhm. That one article that you wrote about that you wrote that you sent me, and it's not an article, it's a meme.
Yep. About the compliments?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I like that.
I posted
I
this
saw
meme.
that today.
Yeah, it's a good one, y'all. Go find it on Maryanne's wall. If it was like a person tied to a board, and he's like, you can torture me all you want, I won't say anything, and the person's like, oh, you can withstand torture, but can you take a compliment? And it's like, no. And he's like, your hair looks really nice. No.
You can show this picture. It's really great.
No!
It's not that good.
And I was like, Maryanne, it's you. Anyways, they reveal the plan for the ID is because they want to buy a keg of beer for a keg party to make money for Tiny's airfare to Caltech. Okay, so again, I don't plot holes. I Googled this because I was like, wait a minute. The drinking age in Canada is 19.
Okay.
And we've established that Zig is 18, right? Because
Mhm.
because of that stripper thing. So, like, do they not know a single 19-year-old that would
Right.
just go buy them a keg? Like, there's
True.
nobody in school that's already turned 19. Somebody got held back. Like,
Right.
I don't remember any of that group having older friends from like the seasons before Next Class.
well, it's because they're like the first iteration.
But they were in Next Generation with older kids. I don't remember them ever being friends with the older kids.
No, but I mean, come on. Nobody knows a 19-year-old. Like,
I guess not.
I don't know. And because like the ID that they got was for like let me see. I think his birthday was in like 94,
Yeah,
which would
super
clock them at
old.
like 25 or something when this episode came out. And I
Yeah.
was like, y'all are really fucking stretching this. Like,
you know,
just go
Maya
find a
should have asked
19-year-old.
Peter.
right? Ask Peter. Where's Maya's sister?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Maya's got an older sister. Like, I'm just saying.
I never had a fake ID,
I never had a fake
Me
ID
either.
but I lost my ID at college once behind my friend's bed. We were just hanging out. We weren't doing anything nasty. But I couldn't find it, and so I had to get a new one. But then my friend found it, and she was like, can I give this to so-and-so so they can use it as a fake ID? And I was like, I guess, sure, whatever.
So I drank beer one time in high school, and my mom found out.
What?
Yes.
Oh, no.
But I can't for the life of me remember how we got it. We got like a 6-pack between 4 people. So we had like a
Right.
beer
So
and
you
a
were
half
getting-
each.
Yep.
Fucking crazy.
So you guys were lit.
So drunk.
I remember convinced. I mean, actually, I don't even think I asked her. I think Bethany one time we were like grocery shopping, and I was probably like 19 or 20, and there was like some Smirnoff drinks or something like that, and I was like, "Oh, those look good." And she was like, "Do you want me to just buy them for you?" And I was like, "What?" Like, I know. And Bethany always seemed like a pretty straight laced to me, so I was like, "What?" Granted, she was doing way more crazy shit in high school
yeah.
that would piss off her parents than I ever did. But I was like, "Oh my god, really?" Okay.
I think
Oh my God.
my freshman year of college, a girl on my floor or someone, Shauna's roommate,
Mhm.
was dating a guy who drove a Coke truck, and he was older, so he'd get us beer.
Yeah.
And by beer, I mean Smirnoff,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Mike's hard.
yeah. And then there was one when our first friend turned 21. There was an entire box of just liquor that
Oh,
she
man.
brought.
Oh, man.
Tequila, whatever. It was my first puke and rally where I just was in the bathroom hacking it all up, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready to drink more.
Oh my god.
And now that's who I am today.
Oh my god. Jesse,
Yeah, when I was like 19, my BFF was like at least 21. I don't remember how old she was. Shout out to Alia, who's definitely listening.
hey.
Hey. All
My
right.
BFF Alia would buy me stuff for like when we'd go to parties down in like Western Mass and Connecticut. So that was lucky. And then I also had like older coworkers at the convenience store I worked at. But what was like really frustrating was like I waited until I turned 21 and got the ID to like buy it myself. And I go in and I'm all psyched to get carded.
Yep.
And the girl who worked there, not one of the ones who had bought me alcohol before, but just a different girl who worked there, was like, "You aren't 21?"
Oh my god.
And so I could have been buying it this whole time.
Oh
she
my
didn't
God.
realize I
Right.
wasn't 21.
Whoopsies.
Whoops.
So Jesse, do you remember the birthday party? It must have been your
Mhm.
20th. Was it your 20th? You weren't 21 yet, I don't think.
It was either my 19th or my 20th.
Yeah, 'cause I think I was like 16. But so I think I was 16 because I drove. So I must have been at least 16. But so Jesse, you lived in Western Mass at the time, didn't you, or something?
Yeah, for like a summer.
Yeah.
I was subletting my friend's
Yeah.
apartment.
So I drove out for Jesse's birthday party, and Bethany and Jesse were on the outs at the time. And so just me and I think Megan went, or maybe maybe I was 15.
It was Megan.
Megan drove me. That's why I didn't drive. So Megan drove me. Anyways, I wasn't drinking, but like you guys were drinking like Smirnoff, so it was like clear alcohol. So after somebody finished one, I like filled it up with water and was like, I'm getting drunk. And I was like fucking up my words and like tripping on things and being.
And I was just like, oh my god.
You were like, Bethany's gonna kill me. Her sister's drunk. Oh my god, my cousin. And like I probably did it for like a solid couple of hours, and then finally was like, Jesse, there's been water in this whole time. I was like, I'm sorry.
I was drunk, so I didn't like pick up on the details. I was just so worried about Beth finding out.
I know, that's gonna kill me. And I was like, let me give my cousin crippling anxiety on her birthday. It's so funny.
What a present.
Yeah, I know. Such a good person. But it's funny looking back now. Anyways.
Oh, it was pretty funny immediately. Once I realized you were joking, I'm like, thank God, but I got a good laugh out of it.
Right.
Pranks.
Anyways. Okay, cool. So Grace and Zig are jealous that they can't go to Caltech, but decide that they can't afford flights. Maybe they could road trip. Grace's phone dings and she makes her mysterious exit because she's got a thing. Tiny digs it and calls her a keeper. Zig agrees as Grace walks away smiling. Aww.
Oh, I thought that they were gonna. Well, knowing teen drama shows, I was like, something's gonna happen.
Well, it was just so stupid because it's like I don't know why in this episode it's like they're just trying to cover their own tracks. Like they're making Zig and Tiny say all this shit about Grace to like make her think like maybe Zig likes me, but they've just been like fucking blowing smoke up her ass this whole time because neither one of them would date her.
Ugh, I know that feeling.
Oh, sorry. That's why we had you on, Miss Unrequited Love.
I really relate to Grace so much. I want to dye my hair blue.
That's why I dyed. Well, mine's purple right now.
Yeah,
but that's why I dyed my hair blue.
Looks good.
I didn't necessarily identify with her, but I just liked her hair.
Yeah.
Next, we've got VJ testing Yael on a random long division problem in a mostly empty classroom. I don't why. I don't know what that was for. Why
I'm really glad that kid was in this episode. Once because I was like, who is this
VJ? So wait, Baz.
Yeah, that's how she's saying it.
Yeah, that is. I don't know. Boz feels more official, but Baz doesn't Baz. It's not Baz. Hey, Baz. Like, it sounds like you're from fucking Worcester. Hey, Baz. What's up? Fuck you, kid.
We're coming for you, Baz.
Baz, you're a fucking gay kid. Like, that's what it sounds like. Anyways, Baz. He enters because he's got recreational business to discuss with Yael. She owes him a date. I know. She owes him a date, and he'd like to take her to a party. Did y'all look at this party flyer? Did you pause it and look at this party?
No.
Okay, well, let's break it down because it was pretty fucking gold. It says, send a nerd to science camp. Bush party. Party starts at noon. All white wardrobe required. $20 cover includes refreshments.
Grace was wearing black pants.
Yeah, and then there's a picture of a wooden barrel. Not a keg. It was definitely a wooden barrel. Also, what the fuck is a bush party? Because I had never ever heard.
Is it a Canadian thing?
I have no idea, but don't worry. I asked the internet.
Great.
Oh, okay.
And so according to Urban Dictionary, we've got a couple definitions. 1, a party held in a bush. 2, a party held in a wooded area. 3, a party held in an urban area that has been overgrown with vegetation, e.g., example, on a lot. Areas near train tracks, etc.
Oh, so I have a lot of bush parties.
Yeah. 4, a party held on the outskirts of a suburban area while empty farmers' fields have yet to be developed.
Okay.
Also, there could be a sexual encounter between one man and 2 or more women.
Okay.
Oh. Right.
Or, my favorite definition of a bush party, a party held to celebrate the day George W. Bush became an ex-president. Most bush parties will take place on or around January 20th, 2009. Festivities include playing Bush's Cup, a drinking game wherein people take a drink every time ex-President Bush is mentioned on TV, while watching a 24-hour news network ceremonially setting bushes on fire and other activities.
When is Bush mentioned on TV besides recently
Well,
with the
listen,
Ellen
this was
scandal?
clearly an old.
Right.
This party was supposed to be on January 20th, 2009. So
Yeah, because that was when he
left
that's
office.
when Obama came in.
yeah,
Right.
so I was
And people were too busy celebrating Obama than celebrating not Bush.
y'all didn't have a Bush party?
I
No.
didn't.
I had
I
my
was
bush
busy.
party in an empty field where farmers had not yet developed, and I had a sexual encounter with two or more women and a
Who
man
hasn't?
while burning bushes and watching 24-hour news networks.
Damn, you nailed it.
Where they mentioned George Bush.
Where they mentioned George Bush, and that's
Yep.
that's why y'all got so drunk. So
Yeah, and that's
sorry I didn't invite y'all. Maryanne, I didn't know you. Jesse, I guess I
No.
was just like, fuck you. I don't know. But yeah, so but what I want to be duly noted, because it comes up later, this episode was so full of continuity errors, it was driving me up a fucking wall. That fucking invitation said party starts at noon.
It sure
Let's
did.
just all lock that in. Party starts at noon.
Yep.
Anyways,
Great.
But another thing, so it said $20 on the flyer?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a $20. Yeah, so
Because
again,
later there's an issue with
she-
Zoe.
yes,
Right.
exactly. So whoever made the flyer fucked up. Is what I'm saying. Like the one, like you as a Degrassi team member, you had one job probably to make that
Props.
fucking flyer.
Props
Props
department.
fucked it up. Props fucked it up
But-
because there's so many issues, and we'll get to it. Don't worry,
But
I
that's
noted
an
them all.
expensive keg party.
It sure is.
Seriously,
Keg
20 bucks?
parties when I went were
Mm-mm.
like $5.
Right, $5 for a
Yeah,
cup.
but think about so like they later at the party were like, we already have $1,000, so that meant 50 people were there.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, granted, he's definitely got airfare.
Right.
So I guess that's why it was so expensive. So Zoe was, accurate in her like $20.
I love that everyone was all about helping a nerd get to space camp or wherever.
Right,
he's
pretty
going.
much. It was pretty much space
like,
camp.
Everyone's like, yes, of course.
Oh,
They gotta send him.
They could have had a fucking
It's for Canadian.
GoFundMe, but they decided to have a Bush party instead. Yeah, I don't know if it's Canadian, but Bush party is. I'm
Less Tory.
gonna have one. Yael doesn't want to go on a date with Baz. Sorry, it's gonna every time I read it, it's gonna I'm gonna stutter. But he reminds her that she lost the app bet, as everyone remembers their farting app bet, because she took down her gossip app. So Baz asks her what the big deal is. It's not like she has a boyfriend. She can go on this date. But VJ reminds him that she does have a hunter.
Ooh.
Will they? Won't they? Either way, Baz is taking her on this goddamn date. So wear something nice, bitch.
Now, hearing that she had a hunter and I had yet to meet him, I
Were
was
you-
like, what?
Wait, what is that? Is her dad one of those like, touch my daughter, I got a shotgun? Like,
Got a hunter.
she's got
Whatever
a
you
Got a
do to my
hunter.
daughter, I'll do to you.
That's
Hey,
right.
that's you. That dad is totally finger blasting that little boy. What?
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Can you imagine?
Ugh.
Heard you made out with my daughter. Come here, boy. It's like, what's happening?
I
Dad,
warned you.
Dad, no, please.
Please, Canadians wouldn't do that.
You lost your virginity in the backseat of a car? Boy, get back there. No, Dad,
Oh,
no.
God.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what is this? What is this toxic masculinity?
Mhm.
Ugh.
It's real weird.
It's gross.
So now we are with Lola, Shay, and Goldie walking. I think they're going to volleyball practice, I'm pretty sure. Shay is upset that they lost their last game by 5 points because that team was weak. Lola points out that they're weak now ever since they lost their shining racist star, Frankie.
Mhm.
Shay is freaking out more because no one is going to care about her skills as the best player on a shitty team. How will she make the national team?
And I'm playing on sports teams.
Were you
In high
ever trying
school.
to be on the national team?
No, because I was on JV. One time I made varsity though, but
Ooh.
I always just sat on the bench. But I did get a jacket.
Yeah, that's all
Nice.
that mattered.
That's all that mattered, and a letter.
I wanted the varsity letter, so
Yeah.
that's why I did skiing because it was
Yeah.
automatic varsity.
Oh yeah,
There wasn't enough
That's
kids.
good. But and I think they're still undefeated. Our football team
Really? Wow.
has not lost.
Jeez.
Wow.
They're the Patriots of prep schools.
Jesus.
Like it's ridiculous.
Does Tom Brady
what's his
secretly
name?
play for them?
He does.
Do they give like sports scholarships or something like that?
I think so. I think they recruit. And same thing with our our hockey team's not as good as anymore, but maybe it is. I don't know. I don't keep up with LA things. But I think our football team is still like one of the top ones, and the coach
best
from when
in the
I was
league.
there is still the coach.
Wow, must be a damn good coach.
Mr. Sheen. He was my advisor for the first year in freshman year, and then I switched to Mr. Peisch, the music teacher, because I did not relate with the football coach.
You know what's crazy? So I don't know how much national attention it's getting necessarily, but Jesse, have you heard that there's Chicago teachers are striking right now?
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard anything about this. We're going into it's been a total of 7 days,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Thursday and
School
Friday,
days.
and then a full week.
I'm
and
about
they're
to go
not
into another.
Yeah, they're not going back tomorrow either. And it's really interesting how this is getting spun because because everybody's just trying to turn everybody against the teachers and not the fucking government, which puts money into tourist traps and not the fucking school system.
Exactly.
But there's been articles that have come out have been like, we're taking sports away from the kids. Like, how are they going to get scholarships if they can't play sports because they didn't go to school? And
it's a very privileged going to school for sports and not. I mean, what about those kids that are putting on a play?
Right?
And they got to practice so they can get into Juilliard.
Children who don't eat unless they go to school.
Yeah, exactly. Like people have this idea that teachers have all this time off, and it's like I saw this one post that was like, so saying our teachers only work from 8 to 3 every day is like saying that Tom Brady only works 16 Sundays a year.
Right? Yeah.
And so like, no.
So accurate.
There's other things that happen.
I don't know any teachers that leave right at 3 p.m.
Oh, absolutely.
They all fucking
and they
stay.
coach and they direct the plays. They run band.
Stay after to help their kids with shit.
Yeah.
They grade papers. Like,
And this woman, she was like, well, I don't know what they're complaining about. They're one of the only jobs that still has a pension. Pensions aren't a thing anymore, and they have pensions. And I was like, hold your roll. And I was like, actually, so my friend works for in the special education program, and they are so ignored that it is hurting. They're like not following the rules that you're supposed to be following in a special education class. And so they're not doing it for the money. They're all like, it's not about the money.
It sucks that they like try to peg teachers as have it. They're like, oh, they just want more pay. And it's like, that's such a tiny fraction of it.
People are teachers for the money. You know what I mean? Like, that's not why people do it. Anyway.
And acting as if the majority of teachers don't have a second job.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
they do.
Right. I'm like thinking
All
that they
of them.
literally just take summers off.
Did you see that one post where for Halloween a bunch of teachers at a school came in dressed up as their second job?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So like some people were like in McDonald's uniforms or
Just
janitor
like Starbucks
uniforms
or whatever.
Yeah. And
but it's just so real. Like I've met pretty much every teacher I know has a second job.
Yeah.
So anyways,
yeah,
we digress. It's just been nuts over here.
Yeah, it might go this whole week again, and maybe I'll make the girls watch Degrassi.
Yeah. I know.
14 and 11, perfect.
I know. So Shay expresses that she's sick of losing everything, alluding to the other frustrations in her life. But she thinks if they just practice more, maybe they could win their last game, which could lead to scouts coming to their playoff game, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that? What happens if you win this game? I don't know. It's your last game. I'm not. I guess they were saying they could still make the playoffs. I don't know. Aren't they going to get a participation trophy? I'm sorry. Can't talk.
I don't know if they do that in Canada.
I don't know. They don't. Do they make Swifties like they do here in America? A bunch of little snowflakes.
Yep.
WTF, Shay. Good luck with that. So now we're at Grace's doctor's appointment, and the nurse is asking her about her new meds, while Grace rudely checks her phone and inspects the picture of Tiny and Zig with the keg right in front of her mom.
Your mom doesn't even look.
I know. She's just like
what? Who's texting? What'd you do?
Like, right? I was like, bitch, you're like looking at that
daughter's
picture.
a party animal,
Right? Her and her cystic fibrosis are gonna get lit this weekend. But the nurse is okay with her being rude as fuck because they want CF patients to have active lives. Grace is like, oh my god, tell my mom that. But her mom is just concerned because Grace hasn't told any of her friends about her CF. Because like, for real, it's just stupid of her to not tell anybody. Like,
Right,
You-
especially her close friends.
like emergency contacts, y'all. Like,
Oh, yeah.
somebody needs to know. Like, as an example,
Mhm.
my emergency contacts, Maryanne to my right, and my sister Bethany. I don't know if you saw my post about it, Jesse, but
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like last Friday, my phone it froze, and I was getting a phone call and I couldn't answer. It was like a black screen of death, and I was like, okay. So I'm just like trying to like reset it. I'm like, what's the reset? How do you do it? I tried to like hold the buttons for 30 seconds or whatever. Nothing happened. So I'm like, I think I need to reset it by like clicking the lock button a bunch of times. So I'm just like click, 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 and then it was like,
That's
and I
how
was
you
like,
tell
oh
the
no,
emergency.
oh no. Oh no. I was like, I think I'm calling 911. And so I can't hear anything on the phone. It's black. I can't like there's nothing I can do. Then all of a sudden my phone is blowing the fuck up. It won't stop ringing and I can't answer it and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what just happened. I'm not really sure.
I'm calling. Bethany's calling.
Yeah,
we're texting.
because not only did my phone call 911, but it also texted my 2 emergency contacts, Maryanne and Bethany, and was like, SOS, I've contacted emergency services.
Yep.
I'm at this location, which
and it showed me what the location
Yeah.
was, and I couldn't get a hold of her, and I was like,
Oh,
girls,
jeez.
here we go. We're
I
going
know.
on a little detour.
you were like, oh, she's over by the Twisted Hippo, one of our favorite bars. I think she's having an emergency at a bar right now. What's going on with Carly?
You don't know.
Thankfully, I got home and was able to get on my iPad, and I was just like, I don't even know what to do. And then my phone, out of nowhere, just reset itself. I didn't even touch it, and I was like, oh, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, phone.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at least it works.
It works.
But
Then I called 911 back, and I was like, so I accidentally called you from this number. Like, I didn't mean to. There's no emergency. And they were super chill. They're like, okay, this number? All right, no problem.
Right.
I was like, what if I was being murdered? And I
Right.
just finally got back to you, and my boyfriend's holding a knife at my throat. And I'm like, I'm fine.
Oh.
You're good.
well, maybe your voice all hyped
I
up like
tried to
that.
make sure I was as composed
Yeah.
as possible, obviously, so that they believed me, and luckily they did. Because I was like, are they just gonna show up? Like I was nervous,
Mhm.
but from what I understand, they can't trace your location from a cell phone. So
Hmm.
Yeah. Her mom, by the way, I was like, what is this relationship? Like
and
they
she's a single
seem
mom, right? So
they seem like so close and chill, and like the mom to me in this scene seemed just like one of the gang.
Mhm.
Because like even
Yeah.
her talking about being worried about her, she
Mhm.
wasn't really.
because that's the thing is that she was constantly like Grace like never had she only had Zoe over that one time, or not one time, whatever, a couple times. And that's it. Like her mom hasn't met any of Grace's friends.
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
didn't even know who Maya was, who was one of her best friends.
Right.
So
Some girls out there waiting
yeah,
for
like
you.
literally her best friend.
Hi, I'm not mad. You
Yeah,
were at
right.
a party. You had a beer.
Oh, well, honey, with your new meds.
Yeah, you can't mix those. She
Tisk,
was like a
tisk.
little too chill. I was like, my mom would ground me.
Oh yeah.
I would be running upstairs, slamming the door, being like, I never want to see you ever again. Slam.
You're not my real mom.
You're not my real
But you
mom.
are.
And then what's funny when I got punished is that like 3 minutes later, I'd just come down and be like, can I have a cookie? Like, it would be fine.
And you're like, you know that's your punishment, Marianne.
Yep.
No cookies.
No cookies. No, and then she'd forget about it.
Mary.
It's as though those things never happened.
Yep.
I never
Mary,
got in
it's
trouble.
your mom.
Mary, listen, it's your mother. Call me back. Call me back. Your father wants to know when you're coming home for Christmas.
Yep, and that's exactly how all the messages go.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no, well, I think it's because, she's a single mom,
Okay.
and she's constantly encouraging Grace to have friends. She's constantly like, could you please be social?
And Grace seems like she has good conversation with people.
Yeah, she's just really fucking weird about her CF.
Yeah.
She doesn't want...
She afraid people are going to judge her.
I think it's, Jesse, I kind of wonder if it's like similar to what we were saying a couple weeks ago with the episode with Beth about how like your depression's not real if you talk about it. Like, I wonder if
Right.
it's like she feels like if she talks about it, she's gonna think people are assuming she's making a mountain out of a molehill, or she's
Yeah.
just saying
Right.
it for attention or whatever. Grace kind of seems like that to me.
Mhm.
That it's more than just like people being like, "Oh my God, you're gonna die," but like might view her as like, I don't know,
making a mountain out of a molehill.
fragile and weak or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe she just thinks people will treat her weird, just
Yeah.
like, delicately instead of just being like real with her.
Right.
Mhm.
Or just want to be friends with her because she's, and
6?
Yeah.
You're dying? That's cool.
No, but them not actually being sincere about it and just
Oh.
like being like, oh, well, we better be friends with
Right.
the cystic fibrosis girl.
Because she does the episodes where it's like weird with her and Zoe. She says things like, "No one's gonna be at my funeral when I'm 30," and like Zoe's like, "But I brought you green juice. I'm curing her CF with my green juice." Grace is really weird about just letting people in because she doesn't want to have relationships when she's gonna die. That's how that episode went. Yeah, that's how that episode went.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, anyway. So Grace wants to know if the nurse thinks that she can handle a summer road trip with Zig.
A boy?
Your
my
boyfriend?
mom would assume that
yeah.
I'm married to him now.
Right.
Well, I don't talk to my mom about any boys because her reaction would be like, so when's the baby?
Oh, my God. No, I love it. When I met up with Maryanne's mom and dad the other day when they were in town because she was running the marathon,
6.2.
I don't remember how we started talking about it, but Maryanne's mom was like, "So you meet boys in chat rooms too?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, I'm not on chat rooms. I'm not. What?
She goes dating apps chat rooms.
I was so confused. I was like, no, Mrs. Carlson, I don't.
Cool kid 29.
Cool kid 88. Don't tell everybody. I was like, what do you know, Mrs. Carlson? Of course I don't meet men in chat rooms. I would never do that.
Well, Maryanne does.
And I was like, Maryanne does? What the fuck? And then Maryanne's like, yeah, the dating apps are...
They're dating apps.
Our chat rooms. And I was like, then yes, Mrs. Carlson, I absolutely do meet boys in chat rooms. It's like... it made me think of when we first got America Online, when you get the disc in the mail and you put it in your computer and download. Yeah, wild. Oh. And then there was like the kids section, and I would always go into like Cartoon Network chat rooms and shit, like Nickelodeon chat rooms.
Jeez.
And everyone's like A/S/L.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
No, I got into trouble on the internet. Me and my friends would just like try to like cyber with people and then be like, haha, just kidding.
Wait, you were what? You were out there like Chris Hansen baiting adults or something? What were you doing? Jesus Christ.
I don't know. No, me and my friends got into so much up to so much mischief. And then I remember when we had AOL Instant Messenger, we would, I think it was me, Megan, and someone else. I don't know if Beth participated, where we would you could search people by their first name, and so or by their full name. So we would look up some guy named, Tony, and then be like, we'd invite him into a group chat and then be like, hey, Tony, saw you in class today. What was up with you? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, you were just acting really weird. And he's like, who is this? I'm like, you don't remember me? I'm your girlfriend. But we would all be in on it, and they'd also be like, what are you talking about? I'm your best friend.
Oh my God.
And we would just confuse the shit out of people. We were wicked trolls.
And
I don't know.
We wonder why we all turned out the way we did. This is so funny, Jesse. You seem like such a nice, sweet, innocent gal, but the amount of fucking drama that you created in your childhood active play, with you and Bethany playing Barbies, and it was always psychotic shit. That actually, but it reminds me. There's some girls I babysit now, and they do have the wildest imaginary play, where we'll be playing Barbies, and it'll be like, I'm leaving you, we're getting divorced. And I'm like, this got serious. They're like, your parents in real life are still married. Where did this come from? But it's like, I'm leaving you because I'm with her now. And I'm like, oh no. And then it's like, I'm done with her, I'm coming back to you. I'm like, okay.
That sounds just like me and Beth playing Barbies.
Oh my God, no. These two little girls, oh my
Don't
God.
give them the internet.
I will not. Oh my God, they already have it. Oh, yeah, okay. Wait, again, fucking continuity issues. Okay, so she wants to... Okay, the nurse says that, yes, Grace could handle a long road trip as long as she did her treatment. Mm-hmm. But her mom also wants to know if Maya would be cool with her road tripping with Zig, since she's into him.
Oh, yeah.
But later in the episode, when Maya's there, the mom is this rando girl. Maya wasn't like, hey, I'm Maya. And the mom wasn't like, oh my God, I've heard so much about you.
Yeah.
It was this random fucking girl that brought you here, who I don't know, from a hole in the wall.
But you talk about.
and knows that she dated Zig and anyway.
I mean, maybe like Grace just talks to her about her life, but just doesn't introduce her to friends.
Perhaps. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I guess my next question is then, so her mom was weird about Grace, Zig, and Zoe watching TV together in her room that time when Zoe and her were trying to fuck. But, like, now that she's going to go on a summer road trip with Zig, she's fine with that. Like, she didn't want a boy in bed with Grace watching TV. They were all fully clothed and, like, literally he was between the two of them. But now they're going to go on a road trip. Like, where do you think they're going to sleep? Like...
Well, I mean, I don't know.
She's totally cool with her. Anyways.
She's a little older now, so.
And she knows that she
Like
she likes Zig. She knows she knows she likes Zig now. Before she had no idea.
Well, maybe she's looking to have grandbabies because she knows her daughter's going to die at 30.
Oh, wow, Maryanne.
That's
wow.
dark.
Shit. Okay. All right. So now we're at I don't know, Baz. Now we're with Drill Sergeant Shay running practice like they're training for the Olympics. Lola and Goldie say they need a break. There is no coach. Shay is the coach now. That's what I was imagining. But she is, in fact, a captain. But I'm like, where's the coach?
Coach is
in
there
this
because these
picture.
are extra practices.
These are, I don't, I thought
she's
this was a
calling the
regular
girls.
practice, but Shay's just like.
I haven't seen a coach once.
Shay's just like, I'm the captain now. Like, I'm like, what's happening? Shay's going to kill them all.
You know, sometimes in sports,
There's
teams,
no adult supervision?
the adults are busy doing something else, and they're like, okay, you run the drills.
Look, we're not doing a
And
very
I've
good
gotta
job.
go.
We said, maybe in Canada it's different. We were just saying, like, teachers do things after school. They coach teams. They do clubs. Meanwhile,
That's Canada and prep schools.
You're okay.
Not Chicago public schools. Chicago public schools, the teachers do everything.
Okay, but in Canada,
and in private
they
schools, they hire
3 p.m.
other
hits, and if the coaches,
Done.
I mean, all the teachers are out. They're like,
out.
You're
They're
on
like,
your own,
oh, you want a
kids."
team? We'll talk to you at lunch.
I was like,
wait,
you're-
no, that's my break.
right, you're captain, kid.
Yeah.
Go run some drills. I guess. I don't know.
Lola says her arms feel like jelly, but not the good kind.
What?
What is the good kind of jelly?
Oh, petroleum
and
jelly.
what's the bad kind
It's
of
probably
jelly?
petroleum
Jealous?
jelly because Lola's also the one who, had a vibrator keychain and didn't realize it. Meanwhile, did you ever see there was like some weird Amazon review for like strawberry lube?
Oh, God.
And somebody in the review was like, I ran out of strawberry jam for the kids' toast this morning, but I put this on it and they loved it. And I was like, oh God.
Oh.
Ugh. So maybe that's what Lola means.
The bad guy.
Yeah. No, that's the good kind.
That's good.
Her arms feeling like jelly is the bad kind.
My arms feel like the 6 jams that the Hollingsworth have
Right.
at their house, and not the petroleum strawberry flavored jelly that I like to put on my vibrator. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the
I
head
hit the
there.
not
That's
the good kind.
That's what she means by jelly.
Lola thinks that they could win their next game if they invite Frankie back on the team, and Shay thinks they just need to practice all weekend.
That's right.
But Goldie's got a 30% of her grade essay, and Lola has to prove she's
That's right.
over tiny at the bush party.
That's right.
So sorry, Shay, you're on your own.
Priorities, Shay.
Right? Shay asks Lola if she thinks she can just forgive Frankie, and Lola is like, IDK. Can you? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can.
I know. Well, it just may, yeah. I don't know. May I?
May I? I don't know.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I go to the bathroom?
I don't know.
Can you?
Carly earlier explained to me what the racist thing was, and it's pretty bad. And like, my question is, because racism is definitely a learned thing from your environment, and like, when is it okay to be like, you've learned your lesson and you're growing this way? I know you were because we're currently in a society that punishes people for offending somebody once or like whatever, which
And
is
it
of
is-
course
yeah.
bad, but like,
Is there a redemption?
Yeah.
Is there a way to redeem yourself in any way?
To
if
me,
you have learned?
I think there is. It's first of all not doing what Frankie did, which Frankie doubled down.
She doubled down, yeah.
It's owning it
Yes.
Showing how you understand why what you did was wrong, apologizing, and committing to do better, and then doing
committing
better.
to learning and growing,
Changed
and being
behavior.
And realizing what it is, because like I feel like kids who grow up in a racist household, sadly, don't know that. Maybe they don't know that it's wrong because they've never been taught otherwise.
Right, ignorance. It's ignorance. Yeah. Which isn't, it still is not good.
No. Because those parents and then the kids, because I feel like whenever I'm like, if I was mean to a kid in school because they were a little different, I always felt this little guilty thing being like, no, you shouldn't do this.
White guilt.
It's white guilt.
We're born with it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But like, and I knew it was wrong, but I did it anyway.
Maryanne did the drawing.
I did the drawing. No, it wasn't anything to do with racism. It had something to do with this poor girl, Lee Garrison, who nobody liked.
Oh.
And she was a nerd. And, like, we went on this camping trip in the Appalachian Mountains. Not the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, my God.
The White Mountains.
The White Mountains, okay.
Yeah. And we went, and there was this one girl, and everyone just crowded around her and beat her up. And I remember...
Oh, my God.
I mean, not beat her up. With words.
Oh, my God. Holy shit.
And you were just over there
God.
like, yeah, get her.
But like, I remember being in this giant crowd and everyone just making fun of her, and I was joining it, and then suddenly I was just like,
oh my God,
this isn't right.
So Maryanne threw the first stone and beat the shit out of her.
No, I didn't do, and granted, I'm terrified of people, so I didn't do it in front of everybody, but like after everyone was done.
Oh my God.
Being mean to
Socially
her.
tearing this girl apart.
I like went to her room and I was like, are you okay? Like that was really mean.
Even though you had done it.
No, and I had done it. But it was like,
you felt that guilt.
It was going in thinking it was what I was supposed to do, and then halfway through suddenly being like, this doesn't feel right, this is wrong, I don't like this, ew, I want this off of my conscience and I want this off of me. And so then I went to talk to her. I guess she was one of those, I guess she was my friend, but not really.
I was like, so what you're saying, Maryanne, is you want to know if there's a way for you to now redeem yourself.
Yes, for Lee Garrison, which, again, same girl in 5th grade. I think I've told you this story. My one boyfriend that I've ever had for 10 minutes. In 5th grade, I was at the popular table. I don't know why. But somebody had moved, and so my table friends were like, oh no, we have a seat left and Lee Garrison's gonna sit in the seat. Maryanne, you have to date Jeff Sarno. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever, I guess that's what I have to do.
Do you want me to do that when your boy comes to visit, when I meet him tomorrow?
Yes.
Like, well, okay, I'm gonna set. So Maryanne's seeing this guy. It's kind of long distance, right? We're not serious yet, but we're
serious.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's not like we talk every day or anything.
But Maryanne, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get there first, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, Maryanne, you need to sit in this seat and date Jason because I don't want Kaylee and Beth to sit here.
Perfect.
Is it good? Is it gonna work?
Exactly, because it did work until again my conscience got the better of me. So I was like, yeah, sure. And everyone was excited. Katie Rice was excited. And
she would be.
Tina Gardner. Like, everyone was really excited. And so then lunch ended and we went out to recess. And my friend Ashley Ratchford came up and she was like, oh my God, I hear you're dating Jeff Sarno. And I was like, no, I'm not.
You broke up with him like that?
Just like that. And I didn't even do it to his face. I did it behind his back. And then changed tables and sat with Missy Quinn and the other nerds, and then discovered anime.
I do think you can redeem yourself. I think everybody can redeem themselves. It's just a matter of what you do afterwards. Like, a lot of people are unwilling to admit that they were wrong.
Yeah, and sorry if you were offended.
Right. And making it more about themselves rather than the actual act that they had done, and they're only doing it to redeem themselves instead of being like, oh, you know what, actually I was wrong.
Right.
I hurt you.
There's been like tons of people who are like, I can't believe you would call me racist. Like, I take that very serious. Like, they act like you're the asshole for calling them racist.
Right.
It's like, no, you did the racist thing.
Right.
You should be more upset that you acted racist than being called a racist.
Right.
A lot of times people's ego just gets in the way and they just like won't step back and be like, okay, actually I did something wrong.
Yeah.
I need to do better, and then actually do better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a huge asshole in my life, but then like I learned from it and I grew and I made a commitment to not do that stuff anymore. I feel like we all have.
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah. I mean, growing up in New England with a whole bunch of white people, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of I mean, it was such a learning curve. So, like, when moving to Chicago, and then beginning to date outside my race was like, for me, it was the learning point of like, oh, America is run in the way that we as white people assume that white living is the norm.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
Right.
not everybody lives the same as us, nobody acts the same as us, like the way we behave, everything, like people are just different. And so it was that learning of like, wait, so just because people do things differently doesn't mean it's wrong, it's just
Mhm.
different.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that was like something learned for me, was like, oh, there's other ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Wow.
You just didn't know
I just
of.
didn't know, because it was
Yeah.
just fucking.
That was like going to high school, coming from like an all-white school, and then going to this high school with all these kids from all over. Like,
you're like, wow.
there were Saudi Arabian princes. Like, it
What?
was ridiculous. But yeah, like, because, and it was all, and we just were immersed in, I was thrown into all these different cultures, and it immediately became the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Yeah.
just like, and especially because I was only 14 and
Yeah.
my brain was still forming, and I don't think I knew, because like I feel like I read about like Anne Frank and Judaism and the Holocaust, but like never really. I feel like people avoided that in the 90s. that
Yeah,
subject.
I mean, because I
and
only
so
knew,
I didn't really know what Judaism was. No, pretty much.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
I
only knew one Jewish girl growing up, and like now it's, I mean, living in Chicago, there's a huge Jewish population
yeah,
in the Chicagoland area, so I know way more about
but like
it
there's
now.
more religions than just Catholicism,
Mhm.
and just because like I wasn't exposed to it, and it's so crazy that we don't teach everything, like, or at least
it's the fact that
step
it's
into
a it's an elective, like Black
Right.
history is an elective that you have to, women's history elective.
right.
Or
Right,
something
like-
you study once, like for 1 month. Like
Yeah,
during
yeah,
Black History
yeah.
Month.
Exactly.
And
Or you
the-
learn
even-
about Martin Luther King Jr.
And honestly, that's like, I think that's what's the most mind-blowing thing, is that like now seeing like my Black friends on Facebook post about all the awful, horrific shit that white people
Mhm.
did to Black people throughout history
Oh, yeah.
that we don't talk about
No.
in our
Mhm.
like Black Wall Street.
No,
And like
right?
like so for our white listeners at home, like Black Wall Street was, I think, where Central Park is now in
Yeah.
New York City, where it was like all these wealthy Black people. I'm probably fucking this up, but there's one Black listener at home like, she's telling it wrong, she's stupid, and that's
It's a
truly
boy
true.
girl.
From what I understand, if I recall correctly, there was like a wealthy Black neighborhood where Central Park is in New York City now, and white people just like fucking bombed it and like took it out, and then they built Central Park on top of it.
And it's like what they're doing with that Lincoln Yards thing here. There's
Yeah.
this, which is where a bunch of our tax money is going instead of to schools.
To schools.
It's going to this rich, basically gated community for people, and with their own transportation in and out of the city, with their own
Wow.
like movie theater, grocery store, school, everything.
Segregating Chicago
but
even
it's
more.
but it's Chicago, and it's just called
Mhm.
Lincoln Yards, and there's some loophole in the contract that our tax money gets to go towards it.
Wow.
It is ridiculous.
Chicago's corrupt.
Chicago's
As
corrupt.
fuck.
Hey, Chicago.
But so I have never lived in areas that weren't predominantly white. Like I've almost exclusively lived in New England. But I just learned a lot from the internet, and I feel like a lot of people learn a lot from the internet because
Oh yeah.
the internet finally gave people a voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh totally.
And even though it's like not safe, quote unquote, because like you could still get attacked for what you're saying, but you're not going to get physically attacked
right.
or like lose your job or like do for making people uncomfortable. Like you can openly say things about like your experience, and you can find other people who've had your experience
Yeah.
who can
Although-
like reinforce
And
it.
they're, like, blogs.
I do love it when people are exposed as racist on the internet and then they
Mhm.
get fired from their job.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, that's different than what...
I know, but I love it.
But
But
like,
yes, the internet is
like if
great.
you're like a black person who works at a predominantly white place,
Right.
and then you call out the racism in the workplace, or you make people,
Right.
you know,
Right.
make the white people uncomfortable by being like, "Hey, that's not cool."
Mm-hmm.
You risk losing your job. You can risk losing friends. You
Mhm.
can risk physical violence. Like.
Yeah.
When you're on the internet, you can speak your mind and you can talk to people and not worry about anything besides like people talking shit. But like that's the worst that you get back.
Mm-hmm.
I think the internet has given a voice to previously the voiceless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like before you'd have to go get a newspaper to read an article, and now there's all these
Mhm.
online articles that people can write and
Yeah.
like freelance write or just write about their experience or their research or whatever, and you don't have to get a newspaper every day.
Mhm.
That's already
Right.
biased towards white people.
Yeah.
There's we have access to other voices.
Mhm.
Oh, goodness. Cut to the Hollingsworth Chateau. I don't know if we've used
Ooh.
chateau yet, but I literally Googled synonyms for mansion, and I was like, ooh, chateau we have not used yet.
Oh, this is the boy.
Yes,
The
the, one with
hunter.
the hunter. Where Hunter and Yael are playing Magic the Gathering while Frankie floats in an inner tube in the background reading a magazine. Again,
I love how much they're playing magic.
I
in
know.
So Frankie is Hunter's sister,
twin sister.
and she's the racist.
Yep.
because she's
Mhm.
rich.
Yep.
this.
But I also wanted to point out again, eternal summer.
Yep.
Mhm.
What month in Canada is it that she is in the pool right
According to
now?
How I Met Your Mother, there's like 1 week.
I was gonna say, I was like, why is it eternally summer? Because like even I'm like they've been in school, so I'm like
For like months.
That's
so
what I'm
it's gotta
saying.
be like December.
right. That's what I'm saying. So like
Maybe it's an indoor pool.
the only time that you can actually like even if you lived here in Chicago or in New England or whatever, the only months during the school year that you could be in the pool might be September
Yeah.
Mhm.
and June.
Right.
Those are like the only 2 months that like you're really gonna get
Yeah.
warm enough weather.
Mhm.
And September is even pushing it, but
Right.
like and not here now in June. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. June is like entirely rainy here now. But anyways,
Yeah.
no idea what fucking month it is.
Climate change.
Hunter wants to watch all of the Alien movies, but Yael can't because she's got a date with Baz. Okay, Baz. Sorry,
Yeah.
Baz. Yes. Also, here's the continuity error. I don't know if y'all remember, but in the first scene, when Baz asked Yael, he said he would pick her up at 8.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
The
and
party flyer said that the party started at noon.
Maybe he meant 8 a.m.
Whoever made
I
this
was-
flyer is a fucking
I
idiot.
really fucked it up. Okay, because again, regardless, eternal summer when they're at that party, even if he was picking her up at 8,
It would be
they
dark
got to the
out.
party 8:30. It's still fucking light out.
Right.
So I'm like, did the party start at noon? Is it the afternoon? What time is Yael at the Hollingsworth Chateau? Is she there at 8
Is it the day
a.m.?
before, or is it the next
No,
I
she
think
has
it's
a
the day
date-
before.
No, she says that she can't. He's like, "Do you want to watch the alien movies right now?" And she's like,
Oh.
"I can't." Well,
Because
first
she's
she's
like
like,
to get her beauty
she's
rest.
like, "Those are some pretty long movies." And he was
Yeah.
like, "So it's Saturday."
Okay.
Yeah, you like we got time, bitch. And she's like, "Nah, I got a date, motherfucker." Like, so I'm like, "What the fuck time is it when she's at the chateau?"
No clue.
She's getting picked up at 8 a.m. Is it 6:30 in the morning? And she's over there playing Magic, and Frankie's pool hopping it. What's happening? What's going on, Degrassi?
Frankie seems pretty okay with not being on the volleyball team.
She's chilling. She's chilling. She's just like, oh, he's being racist over here. I don't know. Anyways, Yael goes on to explain that the date is because Baz won the bet. So Hunter is like, Baz is just happy that any dumb girl said yes to him.
Ooh.
I know. Fucking nice, Hunter. Nice. Now that there's drama, Frankie's ears have perked up. While it may not seem like a real date, Yael insists that a kiss could still theoretically be
Bitch
on the
has
table.
Not learned her lesson about
Right?
being
I know.
Because she's all about.
She's
the
like,
juices.
what?
Huh? Spill
What's
that
going
tea.
on? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I like Yael. Yael is like, a kiss could happen. We're both straight, essentially. Like,
Theoretically,
happens.
it could happen.
that's what happens when straights get together, right? They just kiss.
That's all that happens.
So yeah, but obviously she's trying to gauge if it would bother Hunter. He insists that it wouldn't, but they're both clearly into each other. Frankie sees that Hunter is being a twat, as I wrote, and helps the girl out by saying she thinks Baz is cute. And you know she doesn't because she's racist. And offers a dress that Yael would look smoking in. However, though, I'm just like, no offense, in what world are Yael and Frankie the same size? I was like, Frankie, you ain't loaning Yael, like, she's got pretty big yabos. You know what I mean? Like, that's what
she does.
We watched
Hocus Pocus.
We watched Hocus Pocus the other day. So yeah, I was like, Yael's got yabos. Yael's got pretty big yabos, and Frankie doesn't have any yabos.
No.
So I don't think that they would be able to share a dress. I'm just saying.
But she's just trying to get in there for the gossip.
Yeah. She was just trying
Frankie.
She's just trying to help because she knows that Hunter likes Yael, so she's just trying to like wingman Yael for Hunter. Although really, if again, this is what's problematic about Frankie. I think if I was Hunter's sister, I'd be like, girl, run. Get away from Hunter. He's like one step away from being an incel. Fucking get out.
No.
Anyways. All right, thank God we're finally at the fucking bush party, y'all.
Yes, bush party.
They are setting up. Grace says she wants tonight to be perfect. Tonight, but it starts at noon.
Oh no. And you know what? And in the wintertime, it gets darker way earlier.
Girl, I was just like, I have no fucking clue. I have no idea what time this party. I have no time. I don't know. Degrassi's in a time-space continuum. Nothing matters. They're never in class. I was like, what is going on? Grace expresses to Maya that she thinks Zig is ready to move on. Maya assumes it's because Esme is currently tying Zig to a tree in the background, signifying his ready-to-move-onness.
Is Esme the girl with the long braid?
Yeah, she's
braid.
You. You always have a long braid. Not even thinking about Esme, Grace says that Zig could never be serious about a girl like that, but they've been breathing the same air for like 2 weeks, so they've probably already hooked up. Now Grace is like, oh fuck, maybe Maya's right. Like, she is tying him to a tree with that material that I have no idea what it is.
Right?
Like, just stretchy
Like
wrapping
glue
paper or
something.
something. I was like, I don't know what that is, but she is getting tied to a tree.
Director of this show.
I know.
You know what? I think what'll make her jealous is let's get Zig over there, and then that girl will.
And Esme is just like,
just wrap him up.
I'm into some BDSM. Like, here's my kink. I'm tying you to a tree. I'm gonna get another girl involved so that this bush party becomes a different kind of bush party. Because was it last week that we established that we're like, Esme would totally be into pegging.
Definitely she'd peg. Yeah.
I did hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You listened to that. Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know what pegging is though. So.
Sorry, Maryanne. So, well, if Maryanne doesn't know, maybe some listeners at home don't know. Maryanne,
probably, yeah.
pegging is when
Probably
a
have heard of it before.
woman
Yes.
wears a strap on and penetrates the man.
That's what it is.
Yep.
It has a name.
Pegging.
It has a name.
Okay.
Of
Yeah.
course it does.
It does. I remember.
You drew a picture of that cat
You know-
pegging somebody.
You know what else has a name that I never would have thought has a name? When one male sticks his penis inside another male's foreskin. That's called docking.
What is the point of doing that?
I don't know. I don't know that it would feel good. I'm not
Docking?
sure. Like, I think it was like probably
Penis is
stretch the
kiss.
foreskin. I don't know. Well, maybe not because of the foreskin. Anyways.
Well, that'll only work with somebody who.
Well, foreskin is like usually generally. Well, that's gonna depend on the foreskin.
Mhm.
I've seen some foreskin in my day.
Yeah.
It depends. Some of it pulls all the way back. Some of it doesn't.
Right.
Depends on the person's elasticity of the foreskin. Anyways,
Callers, call in and tell us what your
Tell us about
elasticity is.
tell us what the circumference of your foreskin is. When your penis is crowning,
Oh God.
how many centimeters is your foreskin dilated?
Mhm. We'll wait.
Right?
Top caller.
I know.
Line 1.
I can't wait to tell the next guy I'm with foreskin and be like, oh my God, it's crowning. And they'll be like, what the fuck? Anyways, cut to Yael looking all cute without her glasses, doing her makeup, getting ready for a bath to
Her
pick
hair
her
look
up.
cute.
Her wig's on point. Yael, I assume the dress that Frankie let her borrow to look smoking hot in, but she kind of looks Amish to me. Like, I was like, what is this
Yeah.
smoking hot dress that makes you just kind of look like you're a nun or something.
Maybe
Yeah.
she tried it on, but her yabos were too big, and so she just went with this
She
dress.
just went with the one that she
Approved
Yeah.
by
I'm
parents.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure Frankie had a really cute, expensive dress like that was from Saks off
Fifth
Fifth Avenue,
Avenue.
in
Yeah.
Canada.
Mhm.
But yeah, unfortunately those yabos you can't when you got large yabos you can't
You can't.
you
fit
can't
into
wear
dresses.
everything.
Frankie
You can't wear
dresses.
no, not when she's in the itty bitty committee,
Mhm.
the itty bitty yabo committee. Baz is impressed though. He thinks she looks great and she should wear contacts more often. Yael is like, WTF, dude. Baz backpedals and admits that it's important that this night goes well. Yael doesn't pick up on that being a weird thing to say before a date. Like, doesn't that seem really awkward?
Yeah.
It's important that this night goes well.
But also, why
Weird.
does she get so offended when he's like, "You should do this more often"?
Right,
She's
no.
like, "I'm outie."
Yeah, no, I thought that was odd too. Like, I was like, that's probably the least offensive thing he could have said.
Yes.
But like, okay. I'm like, whatever. I like her glasses.
Yeah.
Do you, boo?
You can do both. I do both.
Yeah. But it's funny because she was very much like, excuse me?
Right.
Fuck you.
She gets
Yeah.
offended a lot this episode.
She
The
does.
hits
I
keep
think 'cause-
coming.
Yeah, I think she
Well-
just because she doesn't like Baz.
Yeah.
And, like,
she,
I think that's
she
the
wants to
problem.
get with Hunter.
Yeah, she doesn't like Baz, so it's just like everything he does is going to be shitty because she's not into him, and that's
And that's her way of telling him
Yep.
is to be an asshole. That's what we girls do. Is we are shitty to people so that they think it's their idea to not be
Well,
our friend instead
Maryanne.
of making it my idea.
I was like, let's go ahead and pump the brakes and speak from I statements. What do you do? Not what all of us do.
I hope from the tone of my voice you got that I was talking about myself and how I like to, especially when I am talking to boys,
Oh,
is I like to be very mean to them so that they don't want to commit to me. And
It's
so then I
wild.
get to not commit to them either because I have offended them so greatly.
mean Maryanne. Well, no, drunk Maryanne is wild because she'll be in the bathroom crying to a stranger that she's like, "You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Yes, queen.
So much confidence.
You're gonna
You
do
are
great
doing
things.
it.
You're gonna make it. You're doing great, sweetie." Like, that's
Mhm.
Maryanne in the bathroom with another woman that she literally just met 5 seconds ago. Maryanne, who's been on like several dates with a dude that I don't know, maybe she likes him. She actually could. It's possible. Who's like drunk texting like, "You should come over," and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I got an early morning tomorrow, so I can't." And she's like, "Well, fuck you then. Die in a shallow grave. I
Jesus.
hope you burn in a fire, you fucking asshole." And I'm just always like, "Maryanne, what happened?"
The next day I'll be like, "Do you think he's gonna text me back?"
I don't know. I don't know if it's Maryanne. I'm not sure.
I don't think he's gonna text you back.
I was like, "Maryanne, you think he threatened to murder his whole family?" I'm not
Well,
really sure.
I haven't told the carpenter anything evil and mean,
That's great.
but I have warned him that maybe I'm gonna do that sometime.
Oh God.
You're growing. You're growing up. I love it.
So I was just going to mention that Baz's father drives him to Yael's, but then drops him off.
More
And it's like,
continuity error.
Where are they going to? They're going to walk there?
No.
Like, she.
No, there is. Yeah, no, Jesse, thank you for saying it because I later mentioned, I bring it up again because no, exactly. He gets out of the car and the dad drives away. And he was like, "I'll pick you up at
Right.
8.
Mm.
I don't know what time it is, but he did not pick her up. The dad dropped Baz, drove off, unless he was like driving around the block. He's like, "Let me get the car warmed up for y'all. And if you want to smooch her first, and then
Right.
like, I'll come back." Like, I was like, he didn't like, or I'm like, was he driving to you to get dropped off, and then like you were gonna drive Yael's car? Like, Yael doesn't have a car. What's going on?
Maybe the bush party was around the corner.
Maybe.
Yeah, and you know what? I would say that, except for later, Yael is like, "Take me home," and he's
Oh,
like, "Find somebody
right.
else to drive you home." So
Right.
clearly, they didn't, like, clearly it's too far to walk because she's like, "I need a ride,"
Right.
and
Damn it, Degrassi.
so how'd they get? He was gonna pick her up, then then the dad drove away and was like, "Oh, my bad, Yael. Can your parents bring us?" Sorry. My dad's like, "Fucked." I
my
don't
dad
know.
thought that I was just coming over here.
Yeah, my dad doesn't know about the bush party. So, because again, what do you tell your parents when they
Right.
drop you off in the bushes? My dad's gonna bring me to this party in the
Also,
woods.
they only get one keg.
Yeah.
for like 50 people. There was literally, they said they made $1,000. That's 50 guests, one keg,
A beer apiece.
a beer.
Half a beer per person.
They are wasted. How do you know that Grace only had one beer? Well, there was only enough for
There was
one
only
beer
enough
per
for one.
person. Okay, so we're back at the bush party with DJ Maya.
She's feeling it.
That character is basically me, but like in that episode. Because she was like so chill and whatever, but then when she got behind the DJ booth, I was like, who is this?
DJ Maya.
She's like, what?
Somehow they have power out there. It's the middle of the woods. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either. I have no clue. So many questions.
Generators. I mean, I feel like Canadians have generators because they lose electricity all the time.
Yeah. I don't.
In summer.
Okay, so Zoe shows up and is shocked that the party costs $20, as if they're charging her more when literally the flyer said it cost $20. But if she's gonna be a bitch about it, they'll charge her $25.
Mm-hmm.
There's clearly tension between Zoe, Grace, and Zig. Love triangle.
Ooh, bush party.
Yes. What happens at a bush party stays at a bush party. Tiny shows up with bevies for his besties, and they tell him that they've already made $1,000, enough for his airfare.
I really like
That's
Tiny.
expensive airfare.
But I mean, think about it. If he's going to California, isn't Toronto like central?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Canada?
just north of us.
Yeah, so like
North. It's right by Detroit.
A plane ticket from Chicago to California is probably like $400. It's expensive.
Really?
Yeah. So
Jeez.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were like $500 each way.
Are we allowed to enjoy him? Does he have any flaws
Tiny
as a character? Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing too serious.
like,
no.
This
Nothing
episode,
crazy.
he seemed. I was like, oh,
No,
I enjoy
Tiny's
him.
Tiny. It's
Full
weird.
energy.
There's like one episode where he says a bunch of sexist things, but then he's like the
Right.
voice of
Yeah.
reason throughout the rest of this.
Okay.
Like, but that's
He's definitely said some dumb shit, but in general, he's
in general he's
Yeah.
a good guy. Yeah.
Great.
Anyways, so Tiny relieves their door duties, and Grace quickly assesses that Esme is like right there, so she asks Zig if he'd like to go for a walk. Grace tells Zig that her mom said yes to their road trip, and like I think Zig wasn't even thinking about it. He was
No.
like, "Wait, what?" He says
He was like,
Wait,
that
huh?
was just a thing we said.
Like we
back
just
at
said it.
school.
We didn't mean it.
I was
We
excited
weren't-
about the keg.
Yeah, we weren't actually
My
gonna
fake
do
ID
it.
from Florida
Yeah, right.
with the mustache.
Rory Tomlinson got it. Zig says that he hopes he can get some time off from his dance troupe with Esme. He knows everybody hates Esme, but she's been nothing but nice to him, and they haven't even hooked up yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I know, I love the way he said that. She's been nice to me, and we haven't even hooked up yet.
Right.
Like, as a little girl can't be nice to him unless you hooked up. And I was like, in my notes, am I crazy? Is Degrassi gaslighting me? The party started after 8 p.m., but it's still light up from the eternal summer in Toronto. Yeah, I really was like,
You were upset.
I was like, what's happening? Yeah, I was Drake. I'm upset. Zig admits that it's been nice having female attention since he and Maya broke up, and then goes on to put his hand on Grace's leg
Seriously.
and says Esme will have to do until he can find a quality girl like her.
That's such a friend zone move.
Yes, Grace then Grace then does the most natural seeming thing and kisses Zig. He pulls back and calls it a mistake. He doesn't want to ruin their friendship over a one-time thing. Grace is clearly upset.
The thing that I cannot stand is when men go, I don't want to ruin our friendship. And I go, fuck you, bitch, you just did. Like,
Uh-oh.
what is, because all I do is have crushes on friends. I never
Right.
have crushes on anybody, but it started in second grade with Michael Welsh. But like, I never told him, but I did write him a secret Valentine.
Oh.
But like, whenever guys are like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt our friendship. Just be like, no, I don't want to date you.
Right.
I'm not attracted to you. You're a good person. I just don't want to date you.
Mhm.
Because when you say ruin our friendship, it means that, like, what the message sent to me is, oh, dating is way different than friendship. And once you add dating into any sort of relationship, it ruins it, which is also why I'm a commitment phobe, is because like I have been fed this my entire life from men being like, I don't want to ruin our friendship.
Right.
And that puts a spin on what I think a relationship is.
Mhm.
Because men have been telling me that if we date, it's going to ruin what we have.
Because a
rather
relationship
than
should be
build
a
on
friendship,
top of it and grow it.
Right.
And so when he said that to her, I threw a shoe at my television. It broke. My cat screamed. I was just...
The Christmas tree lit on
But
fire.
the Christmas tree was on fire from last year because it was really dry and I haven't watered it in a while. But like, when it's a statement that makes me so mad just because I know how much it fucked me up when thinking of relationships and commitment and what a relationship is. And like, so whenever people say that, I'm just like, no, that's not the way to handle this.
Right.
The way to handle this is, it's not going to ruin your friendship.
No, it's so interesting
It's
because
that you just don't want to.
Jesse, wouldn't you say Johnny is your best friend?
Yeah,
Like,
like any long-term relationship I've had, they become my best friend.
Yeah, like that's...
You spend all your time together. Like,
yes. That's like...
You talk to each other constantly. Like, it is a friendship. It's just
a sexy
romantic
friendship.
stuff.
Right. And like, where I remember
where there's butt
times of
stuff
like,
involved.
yeah.
Oh, God, no.
But like making out with somebody, a particular fella, and like getting handsy and shit, and then suddenly them being like, oh, never mind, don't want to do this because it's going to ruin our friendship. And I'm like, okay, thanks for leading me on, first of all. And thanks for now establishing that this is what relationships are. Because now I've lived a hookup dating life is what I've basically been doing. This carpenter fellow who I've seen a total of 2 times.
But you've been talking for months.
We talked for months. So like I met him in August and we hung out 2 days. And then I just went to Detroit a couple weeks ago for like 3 days. And then he's flying in tomorrow for a day. Casual, whatevs. He's on tour with a theater company. It's fine, whatever.
I can't wait to meet him.
And Carly's gonna meet him. But like, it's kind of been the longest relationship I've had because, and it's not a relationship.
Everybody calm down.
Everybody calm down. He's not my boyfriend.
Everyone at home is like, ooh.
He's not my boyfriend.
Marianne's
He's probably gonna bring it up
boyfriend.
tomorrow, but whatever. And I'll go ahead and avoid it.
No, dive right into it.
But
Marianne.
like, I think because we've started from nothing and we're building this friendship and
so to speak,
relationship and like, you know, sexting and whatever. But like, so it's not just friendship, but it's like a mixture of it. It's actually one of the healthiest, even though I haven't seen him, you know, all the time.
This is what Marianne needed.
It's one of pressure. Yes, and it's probably the healthiest relationship I've had with a man that I've had like relations with. Sexies. That isn't in my head of being like, oh, relationships aren't friendships, they are just sexy time, and if you just do sexy time, you can't be friends.
Right.
Which is what men have been putting in my head ever since because of course you're gonna have crushes on your friends. Those are the people I have a crush on Carly Joe.
Oh my god. Oh, Marianne, I don't want to ruin the friendship. Like, what are you...
Get out of my house!
And this is Marianne's podcast now because I've been murdered.
She's dead. Hello, I'm Carly Joe. But yeah, so like it just and I saw it in her face too of hearing that, and now she's learning that this is relationships aren't friendships. They're just about hooking up.
Right.
And it took me a long time, and I'm still erasing it from my feelings and brains about what relationships are, but like it's taken a really long time to figure that out. I might have just figured it out just now.
I was gonna say I've never heard you say anything like this
Me
before.
either.
So.
I think
It's
wow,
been
this
very
is like
therapeutic
therapy.
for you.
Thank you,
It
guys.
always is. It always is. We're just working some things out.
Oh, we're working things out. Anyway,
Everyone at home is also having epiphanies about their
yeah,
friendships with boys and girls and thems and theys and
yep,
these and those.
these and those.
And all those hoes.
All those hoes, these and those, and all those hoes.
I'm just, so that was me dancing. You can't see me, but I was.
So I love this next scene starts out with, run, You gotta run like you were chasing down the sun.
Is that what the words were? Oh my
Yes.
God. Wow.
I
Yep.
loved it so much.
Shay is practicing volleyball at school, and
Oh
God
my
knows
God.
what fucking time it is at this point, okay?
She
What
knows
time?
at the party.
Is she at school at 8 p.m.?
Yeah, she
Right
sure
now,
is. They
what is
opened it up for
happening?
her,
They
and she is doing her
On a
suicide
Saturday.
sprints.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, anyways, when she finally takes a break, she texts Tiny asking if she should forgive Frankie. Tiny immediately calls her,
Of course.
saying he wished that she was there. Shay forgot, but she couldn't go anyways because of her curfew during daylight hours, apparently. And of course, because of Lola. Even though Lola has deemed Tiny off limits, Shay needs to talk to someone else black about this. She feels like she's lost so much this year. Volleyball camp, her best friend, and Tiny adds, the dopest guy in school.
Yikes.
Shay is tired of losing.
Is he talking about himself?
Yes.
Great.
But she doesn't know what to do. Tiny tells her to follow her heart. And she wants to know if they're still talking about Frankie. But Tiny says, your call. I actually really like that Shay is asking specifically Tiny about this.
Mhm.
Because, like, I think she does need that other black opinion. Like,
Right.
you
Right.
know, like she's...
Because she's got all these white girls telling her.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. She's often surrounded by, well, I mean, truthfully, Lola is Hispanic. But anyways. But yeah,
Who's Lola? Is she the pink-haired
hair girl, yeah. She does, but I feel like she needs that. She needs another black opinion, and
Mhm.
I like that she's bonded and reached out to Tiny about this. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a good relationship choice to be like, can we discuss this? What am I doing?
This reminded me of like a bunch of stuff that's going on in the world this last like month or so. So there was like 3 recent cases of like a member of an oppressor class doing the wrong thing to an oppressed class or a member of one, and then being forgiven without owning or apologizing for harming them. And then members of the oppressor class be like celebrating this oppressed person for forgiving them.
Yeah.
So there was a couple cases. There was this guy, Shane Gillis, who on his podcast, he made like a bunch of offensive jokes about Chinese people.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he called the presidential candidate, Andrew Yang, the C word, which is the word, I don't know, it's the word for Chinese people that's like
Right.
wicked offensive.
Right.
Yes. I unfortunately know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
I've heard it.
there's like
Yeah.
another C word. I don't want you to confuse the two
No,
C
no,
words,
no.
but I don't want to say it either.
The CH word.
Yeah.
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 And so Andrew Yang, like publicly on his Twitter, was like, I don't like this, but I forgive him and I want to have a talk with him. Basically, like, I want to call him in and explain to him why this is bad.
Yeah.
But then
right.
the guy, Shane Gillis, instead of like doing that and owning what he did, he just went on to like make more jokes about it and like rage against cancel culture.
Right.
Oh, come
And-
on.
Yeah, and be like, comedy
Right.
pushes boundaries.
Yeah,
and
why
all
can't
that
we
bullshit.
why can't we do this comedy? This is what comedy is. Shut up.
Which I'm like, pushing boundaries. Saying racist stuff is not pushing boundaries. Like
It's
racism,
been done.
racist.
racism is the status quo.
That shit's been done.
Pushing
Do something
boundaries would
else.
be
Yeah.
going against racism.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But
coming up with
Yeah,
a new angle.
That was the guy that was going to go on SNL.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they decided to, not
Jeez.
have him on SNL. When they literally just got their first Asian
Yep,
male
they
At
sure
the
did.
same
And
time.
he's doing great.
He's doing great, sweetie.
He's doing great. I've been watching, and he's
hell,
pretty funny.
They only probably picked him because they needed somebody to play Andrew Yang. Like, let's be honest. Like, as if SNL hasn't been
I think
fucking...
he has yet to play.
Oh, he hasn't?
Yeah.
I'm sure he will,
No.
hmm But so then there was like the thing with Ellen,
though. Oh,
who
yeah.
Oh,
was
right.
spotted with George W. Bush, who is
Bushing.
specifically anti-LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he
right.
enacted some policies that are anti
Right.
them.
I mean, don't ask, don't tell. Was
Right.
that him? Ugh.
That's how I talk about my showering. Did you shower today, Carly? Don't ask, don't tell.
But so
It's been a while.
Ellen went on to like make a speech on her show about being nice to people with different beliefs. And then
Yeah.
it's like, I don't like when people wear fur, but I'm still friends with people who wear fur. And I'm like, okay, being a war criminal
Yeah.
is different than wearing fur.
And also is against your marriage.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Literally, he doesn't think that what you and Portia have should be legal.
so,
And Bush never answered for any of the stuff he did while in office.
Right.
Like, he wasn't in trouble for lying about things to get us into a war.
Right.
Like,
I'm not reading it. It's memorized. Roses are red. Harambe's in heaven. George Bush did 9/11. You mean
Horrible man.
when we found out that the people who did it were from Saudi Arabia and then we attacked other countries?
right.
Huh?
And how we're like friends with Saudi Arabia
Because
now.
they have money?
Because they've got the oil.
Mm.
Oh.
I love capitalism.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. It's so in for fall right now.
Oh my god, where'd you get that new capitalism? Oh, it's vintage. It was my fucking grandmother's. It's been around.
But so the last case was pretty bad. There was a black man named Botham John who was murdered by a white cop named Amber Geiger.
Yep.
And she claims she accidentally went into the wrong house, thought it was her own, and shot him.
Thinking he was an intruder, right?
Yeah, saying she thought he was an intruder when he's like sitting on the couch eating ice cream. Like, an intruder is not going to be sitting on your couch eating ice cream. She had...
I might.
Carly
I was like,
will.
you just pointed
Carly
at
will.
me. That might be something I would do, but I wouldn't get shot over it because I'm white.
You're
so.
white.
But she also had like a ton of Facebook posts saying like people are
Mhm.
lucky I don't kill them and stuff like that. So
Jesus.
It's
Yup,
sketchy
she had
at
racist
best.
shit.
But for some reason, his brother and the judge, who are both black, decided to hug her. And say they forgive her.
It's that white woman tears, man.
And so
like
she got a wicked lenient sentence, which is like 10 years, which she'll probably serve like 5. And
Right.
in the time, and I thought that, and a lot of people were saying, if the roles were reversed,
would
would
have
have
gotten
gotten
life.
life or the death penalty.
Yeah, 1000%.
But so
And they would have brought other charges in, like, oh, that one time he ran a red light.
Right.
You smoked pot.
You smoked pot
Well,
that one
so
time in college.
the key witness, Joshua Brown, was then murdered in suspicious circumstances.
Oh my god! Right, where they're trying to say that he was doing there was a drug
Like
deal
4
from people
hours
like
away
4
from
hours
weed.
because that's what people do. Yeah,
No.
yeah. Where am I gonna get some weed? I better drive 4 hours
Yeah.
to get and he
And he
Literally
lived in
around
a
the
state
corner.
where it's legal.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to drive out of state to
Oh
get weed.
man, these
Yeah.
cops, messy.
But so Amber Geiger is already appealing now that the key witness is dead.
America.
I didn't hear about that.
So the thing about this is that the acts of forgiveness have been like celebrated by like white people, straight people. They're all like, "Oh, look at this act of
Yeah.
forgiveness. It's so
Right.
moving." Meanwhile, like
They're the
a
better
lot
person.
Yes. But meanwhile, a lot of people actually affected by this stuff are like, "No, fuck that. Don't forgive them." Like, really uncomfortable with it. And saying stuff like, if the roles were reversed, they wouldn't be forgiven.
Right.
Nope.
So this like forgiveness and this kindness is only extended to like white people, straight
Yep.
people, men, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that being said, Frankie is obviously not a murderer. Like, I think
Wait. What?
I thought she murdered in that outfit.
she's closer to the like Shane Gillis thing, like
Yeah,
where she
yeah.
doubled down
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But like the difference is, well, later we'll find out that she actually owns it and apologizes eventually. None of these people have apologized or owned it
No,
or
yeah.
proven they're going
Right.
to do better. And they're just getting
Right.
forgiven. And yeah, then white people are like, oh. And to me, it's basically like a white person being like, well, if he can forgive someone who murdered his brother, I can be forgiven for being a little racist.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
It's like a desire to, not be held responsible for your
Yeah.
behavior. That was my little rant about that.
No, and it sucks because like I feel like as the victim, the people who lost somebody, it's like obviously they have the right to react in whatever way that they feel that they need to, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if that was just like
Normally forgiveness is a personal thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it sucks because it's on such a national spotlight that it's like, oh God, this is not good. It's not good. It's not good for all of us to see this.
The thing that sucks to me is just like, yeah, the fact that like it's almost primarily white people being like,
oh yeah,
this amazing act of forgiveness.
Yeah.
And it like almost holds everybody else responsible to forgive.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. No, it gives white people the view that like, well, yeah, all black people should be that forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
If the brother forgave her, then Joe Schmo on the street should forgive her too. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So yeah, I just thought it was timely. This episode was timely for the current events.
Totally. All right, back at the bush party. Baz and Yael have a seat on a picnic table so that they can judge all the underage drinkers.
She's so judgy.
Y'all, they paid $20 to go to this party
to not drink.
And not drink.
I just realized that. Okay, anyways. And then I'm assuming Hunter later pays $20. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got money. That was fine. Yael admits that Baz, every time it hurts, isn't the worst, which is the nicest thing she's ever said to him. And he asks if he can put his arm around her. She says sure. He then commands her to look into his eyes and kiss him.
So
to which Yael is like, are you fucking crazy? But Baz sees that Grace is looking their way and he's trying to prove that he can be desired. So he's clearly still working the steps of that pickup artist book that he was reading. He then scoffs that Yael actually thought this was a real date. But like, dude, why didn't you just tell Yael that you were doing him a favor to help you get Grace?
Right,
like,
and that's the bet that he won.
Yeah, like, you
have to help me.
Y'all are friends. Like, you could have just been like, hey, will you come to this party with me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, like, get this girl attention. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure she would have been, I mean, she wouldn't have liked it, but I think she would have done it. I mean, Yael's pretty, like, easygoing, you know? So, anyways, of course, Baz. He then doubles down by saying it's awkward and that if things don't work out with Grace, Yael is totally like his third choice.
She just keeps getting insulted.
Yeah. Yael wants Baz to take her home, but he won't because Grace is vulnerable right now. Oh, God, the creepiest, rapiest sentence that he could use right now.
Gross. I can use her vulnerability to get in her pants.
Yeah.
Rape culture.
Yeah. He then tells Yael that she should find another way home. But this is where I'm like, y'all, Baz's dad just dropped him off. Did he drive around the block and pick him up? I don't, anyways. Seems like they walked. I have no idea. This episode is a fucking mess.
Yep.
Yael storms off because Baz is the worst. Grace looks over at him and he waves at her like a putz. I've never used the word putz, but that's what he looked like.
That's what a putz is.
Yeah, Grace rolls her eyes. This was like the longest scene ever. Anyways, Maya joins Grace, seeming like pretty drunk. Like, am I great? Like, Maya's
like
she's drinking the entire keg.
Yeah. Grace isn't having it. Maya asks if she's saving the seat for a special boy. Maybe a grade 10 stalker, who I assume is Baz? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
But Grace is being a super bitch to Maya because she exists with her perfect hair and her perfect body. And all this reminds me of that Empire Records movie, you know what I mean? Where Liv Tyler is throwing speed pills at Renee Zellweger. You're so perfect. Grace admits that she likes Zig and that he basically barfed when she kissed him because she's the only girl at Degrassi he won't hook up with. Maya is clearly dumbfounded as Grace storms off. Baz hot on her trail while expressing that his mom thinks he's very mature for his age. Grace says she doesn't feel good, then promptly passes out. Baz says, "Oh crap."
Yep.
If this had been Next Generation, I think that Baz would have tried something when she was passed out. Like, I feel like Next Generation would have taken it to that level. Thankfully, they didn't. I hope that means as a people we're getting better. But I was like, oh no. Like, in my mind, like that womanhood in me was like, oh no. Like, she just passed out.
And Baz is
kind
a
of a creep.
Creep of the
Yeah,
century.
I was like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't touch her.
Luckily, there were a ton of people around.
Luckily, it's a bush party.
white.
Yeah, in white.
You have to wear white.
Why?
the
Why did they
woods.
have to? I know. Why did
You're
like,
gonna get
it
Summer,
should be-
and they were all
dirty.
wearing like summer dresses.
No, it should be fucking a camouflage mandatory party because they're in the woods.
Mhm.
Yeah, Baz is disgusting. He
I don't
Yeah.
like he already tried that pickup artist shit and she already didn't go for it and he's still trying.
Yeah, it's try something new, man. It's also really interesting that Baz likes Grace.
Mm.
Like, he's not edgy at all.
Mm.
Why is it that he's like, yeah,
I
the
don't
girl
know.
with the color in her hair, I like that. Like, it's, I don't know, it just seems odd to me. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like he wouldn't be into her. I feel like he'd be the dumb one that's like into the super duper hot girl.
Yeah, oh definitely.
You know? Anyways.
Whatever. I think she's hot.
I know, you know what I mean?
I know.
The conventionally attractive one. Okay, so Shay shows up at Frankie's house. Okay, her curfew? Did she? I thought she had a curfew.
No.
Oh, also, it should be noted that as Frankie is like reading her book on the bed.
Tell Your Sister is the book.
Oh yes, I did. Yes, I did read that. But birds are chirping their asses off in the background
Yeah.
while Frankie is reading alone in her room because it surely fucking feels like daytime. The birds are like
Curfew.
as if it's like fucking 8 a.m. Again,
Right.
I don't know. I have no idea what time it is. But it seems like real fucking hardcore daytime. Frankie is shocked that she's there and starts offering her food and drink. Girl, get you some 6 kinds of jam. Am I right? Okay? Get some of those jams, Shay. But Shay just wants to talk. Frankie pulls out her laptop and reads Shay an apology letter that she wrote where she also admits that what she did was racist. She also apologizes that she took so long to read this, but that she was worried that Shay wouldn't accept it and that they'd never be friends again. Flustered, Frankie says she can go if Shay wants to, even though it's Frankie's house. Lol. But Shay wants to talk
I'll
a little
leave.
more. Yeah. Shay wants to talk a little more over that lemonade. Like, let me get a glass. Man, okay. It sucks because I'm glad that I'm like, oh, good, Frankie, you're admitting you're racist. That's great. But, like, I really feel like they should have given Shay lines in this scene.
Yeah.
Like, they really should have given her a voice, and
Right,
they
to
didn't.
tell her, like, to tell Frankie how it made her feel.
Yeah.
Just to be like, no, like, this is why it's wrong, because this is how I'm feeling, and when I saw that stuff,
Yeah.
this is how I felt.
It was just like in society, right? Where like we're like, oh, look at Shay is forgiving Frankie for being racist, but she's not given the opportunity to tell Frankie how the act made her feel,
Right.
or
Mhm.
be like, hey, if we're gonna be friends, here is the absolute hard line of like what you have to do
Yeah.
in order to, for me to forgive you. So I just felt like it was really shitty on Degrassi's part. I mean, like, maybe they've got a staff of all white writers, but like Shay's character should have had lines in
Mhm.
this and been
Yeah.
able to say her piece, because they didn't give her anything.
But yeah, in general though, her apology was like decent.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
Right.
definitely wasn't bad. It could have been better, but it was pretty good.
And ultimately, like, I think that it was a mistake. The issue with Frankie was the fact that she was just more concerned about how she was being perceived than what she actually did and who she hurt.
Yeah.
So I think
Mhm.
she's finally getting it. And
Mhm.
and they were best friends. So it's like, it makes sense for Shay to forgive her.
Yep.
I'm sure she like misses her and stuff like that.
Right. All right, we're back at the bush party. Grace is passed out on the ground, surrounded by Maya, Zig, and Tiny, while Baz is like, I didn't do anything. They're
Whatever.
debating what they should do with her. Let her sleep it off, take her home. She could get in trouble if she goes home, though. Everyone is confused because she only had one beer, like everybody else. Everybody else only had one beer, right?
Only one keg.
Zoe comes swooping in and is a good friend for pretty much the first time in her life. She insists that they need to take Grace to the hospital because she has some pretty serious health problems, but she doesn't reveal what they are. Maya's going to drive her to the hospital. So I guess Maya is not drunk because all of a sudden she seems very
Right,
sober.
right.
Anyways,
I felt that as well. I was like, so you're drinking that keg and
you drank the
You're
whole
fine.
keg, Maya, and you're the driver? Okay.
you fine? Okay.
All right, so now we're cutting to Yael looking lonely as fuck
Mm.
as Hunter shows up in all black Rebel.
Mhm.
He asks if she kissed Baz, which she avoids by asking if he's allowed to be out by himself. But Miles drove him under the guise of getting ice cream because it's eternal summer.
It's Miles' brother.
Yeah. Yael is like, you drove all the way out here to confirm the virginity of my lips. More
Ugh.
like I'd be like, you paid $20 to get into this party to not drink and just get me. Cool.
Right.
But Hunter insists that her first kiss should be with someone she cares about. They go back and forth alluding to being forever alone because no one they like would ever like them back.
Mhm.
When Yael finally asks point blank if he likes her, Hunter is like, oh my god, you seriously don't know? But he told her to go on a date with Baz, so like, what the fuck? Hunter says his life is a train wreck and he didn't want to pull her into it. She admits that she does like him, and it doesn't matter if it messes up their friendship because it already has. Oh.
It's the most beautiful line.
I
I was
know.
really happy to hear that.
Yeah. So
They
they
friendship's already a mess.
they lean into each other, and Hunter puts his arm around Yael while offering her ride home. Aww.
And then they gaze out into
Yeah.
the forest.
Because she doesn't want to ride home just yet. She wants to just sit there all cute and cuddly with Hunter for a
Mhm.
while.
And cuddle.
Oh,
And cuddle.
Aw, little kids. Ah, so cute.
Oh, cuddle.
Oh, yeah. It's okay if it ruins our friendship. It's already ruined. I'm not trying to-
Such a weird thing to say.
Aw.
I was gonna say, do we want to talk about our first kisses,
Oh, we could.
or should we talk about that? I mean, are we gonna have? She didn't get her first kiss,
She didn't, but
but
we
they
could.
were talking about.
Neither
her
did
first
I.
Oh, then here we
kiss.
go.
Never been kissed.
Never been kissed.
Tell us about your first kiss, Maryanne. Do you want to start? Do you want?
I literally don't even know because I think it was with Cameron Faggio on stage in The Boyfriend. That certain thing called The Boyfriend. Do 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 do.
Is that the name of the play?
Yep.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
musical.
Oh, okay.
Look it up.
I've never heard of it.
You wouldn't. Because like all the boys I had crushes on in high school with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Matt Wishnack, Sam Reggio, Tim Hall.
I'm gonna look up all these names on Facebook later. You know.
I can't wait. But I was too shy to like say anything because I wasn't comfortable with my sexuality or my body because I grew up Catholic and we were told that this is a precious, don't talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. I didn't know what a boner was. And so like when I got to college, I don't even like, it wasn't, I think I was like drunk at a party and just some guy's sloppy
Mm-hmm.
mouth was all over me. And so like I hadn't had very good experiences with men again and like or kissing or whatever that was, and I always felt nervous that kissing was way more like I was viewing kissing as like losing your virginity.
Yeah.
Like that's what that was.
Lip virginity.
Lip virginity is even more scary than
It's a
losing
real
your
thing.
virginity. And like and then online dating started happening.
No, chat rooms.
Chat rooms, excuse me. The
Meeting
chat
boys
rooms
in
started.
chat rooms.
I was meeting boys in chat rooms. I went on a date with a guy from Craigslist
Oh God.
before dating apps came out.
That's wild to me.
And I went to a Blackhawks game. I didn't like him, and I didn't kiss him or do anything or call him back or do any of that stuff.
You got to go to a Blackhawks
I
game.
did. I got to go to it's the one and only Blackhawks game I've ever been to. This was back in like 2008.
Wow.
And then I'm just going on dating apps, and it's like the idea of I never had that. I don't think I ever had that like teenage like first kiss. Oh my God, we kissed. Because then like I don't know if you all feel this when you go on dates, or when you went on dates, is like at the end you're feeling like this pressure of like, well, I guess I'll kiss him goodbye, and then maybe he's gonna leave me alone, or like
No, that's normally not.
he's gonna get what he wants, so now he won't talk to me anymore, so I'll just kiss him, or like I don't know. And like feeling bad that you don't want to kiss somebody because you're not attracted to them.
Oh.
So instead I go the mean route.
Yep.
So I could not tell you what my first kiss was because I have no idea. I don't, it was not it was with Cameron Faggio, and it was like literally and I'd always get so red and like, I was like, oh my God, that certain thing called the boy. And it was in the 50s, so, you know, we did the the
Oh,
Charleston.
Yeah, that was Cameron Faggio, now gay.
Yep.
Yep. How I know. In a musical.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can't imagine the first kiss being like a acting thing, like, because you don't get that real first kiss.
No, because it's directed.
Yeah. Well, what was your first kiss, Carly?
Oh, girl, I talk about it in my one woman show.
Oh my God.
It was awful. Yeah, so like 13 years old, I think, 12 or 13.
All right, so I'm not missing anything. That's
No,
what you're saying.
no, at Good Times roller skating rink. And Billy Steves, he had bought condoms from a quarter machine in the bathroom, and he came out with them, and I didn't even know him. I wasn't in like any classes with him. I just had heard of him, and he was waving them around. Everyone's like, ah ha ha, Billy has condoms. And then he like somehow fucking eyed me, came up to me, grabbed the collar of my shirt and dropped the condoms down inside my shirt.
Oh my God.
And then was like, whoops, I better get those. And stuck his hand down my shirt.
Fuck.
And I was just like, what is happening? I'm 13 and we're at Good Times roller skating rink right now in Merrimack, New Hampshire. And then later that night, he was just like, so you my girlfriend? And I was like, I guess that's how this works. I don't know. I'm in 7th grade. I'm not sure. And then he like kissed me, and it was the fucking nastiest, wettest thing ever. And I was like, how are your lips so wet on my face? And your tongue is like licking my uvula. What is happening? And he didn't have good breath. I was just like, this is awful.
That's what kissing is.
Yeah. And like he left, and I was just like, let me wipe that off my face. Like, God damn, that was bad. But anyways, I was like, but I have a boyfriend now. Oh my God, I'm so cool.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So like as our like relationship continued, people at school are like, oh my, are you and Billy dating? And I was like, yeah. But then they were like, someone would say something about him. They're like, oh yeah, he's Jewish. And I was like, he is? I like literally had I didn't know anything about him. I was like, what? I guess I should talk to him. So then I was like, we should exchange phone numbers and we should talk. And he was like, okay. And so I guess we talked a couple times on the phone so I could like learn anything about him. And then, like the next time I went to Good Times, he and I were sitting on, one of the wooden booths over by the laser tag with friends across from us, and he put his arm around me and then stuck his hand down the collar of my shirt and just cupped my boob. And we just sat there like that with his hand cupping my boob inside my sports bra. And I was just like, this is what having a boyfriend is like. This is what you do in public as a fucking 13-year-old at Good Times roller skating rink.
Things we learned at Good Times.
Which has closed down and was, to my last knowledge, it was they turned it into an indoor play space for kids, and they called it Nothing But Good Times.
And you're like, I can attest to that.
And to this day, every now and again, Billy Steves will still send me a message online being like, I think you should listen to this song. It reminds me of you.
Oh God.
Stop it. That's creepy and gross. I hate him.
Granted, we did date again when I was like 19, so that's probably the problem. And he didn't really get any better at kissing. I hope he doesn't listen to these podcasts.
People I'd say I didn't get kissed well until I was at least 19. Like all of the high school.
My high school boyfriend was a good kisser. But anyway, yeah, I continue.
Yeah. So yeah, mine was terrible also.
Yeah.
Terrible and gross. But at the time I was like excited about it, but it was a terrible situation. So, and this is part of what me and Beth were on the outs about for a couple years. So Beth introduced me to this guy, and
I didn't know he was your first kiss. Shit, continue.
Yeah. I was like 16, and this guy was friends with Beth and in her friend group. And so I'd come to visit because I lived like an hour and a half away from you guys. So I'd come and visit, and like I'd hang out with Beth's friends and all that stuff. But for some reason, we like became like best friends really fast. But he had a girlfriend. And it was like a whole thing. Like I developed a crush on him, but I wasn't going to make a move because he had a girlfriend. Like I was just, we're best friends, whatever. And he would like tell me he loved me all the time and just like confide in me. We would talk on the phone all night. Like we were just really tight. And he would tell me that his girlfriend was terrible and that she neglected him and all this.
High school.
Like he was definitely like a
Oh, he was
manipulator.
gaslighting the fuck out of you.
Yeah. So, anyways,
sure.
but I, whatever. It was like we were friends and I was okay with that. But then he came out to stay at my house because we were going to see Taking Back Sunday.
Yes.
And so we went, my stepdad brought us to the Taking Back Sunday concert in Worcester.
That's a band, Maryanne. As you're whispering, the mic picks up everything.
Is that a band?
They perform in chat rooms.
Yeah, we were in Worcester. And so at the show, he was like holding my hand and stuff. And I was like,
Oh my
okay,
God.
Oh my
okay.
God.
I was just like freaking out. I'm like, okay. And then so he stayed over, but obviously slept on the couch. And then the next day we're down in my bedroom, and all of a sudden he just jumps on me and just like now that I think back to it, I'm like, that was one of the nastiest kisses ever. Like, it was, like you guys said, super wet and just gross.
Yeah.
But I was like, I had been waiting for my first kiss for so long. So I was just like, ah. And the next thing you know, his hand's down my pants.
Whoa. That
Yes.
escalated quickly.
And I was just like, ah, and frozen and just like, okay, and went with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have sex ever. Like, we just fooled around. But so that continued for like a year of us hooking up and him telling me he loved me and talking to me on the phone every night and telling me his girlfriend was terrible. And then finally, he told his girlfriend like a year later. And Beth found out, and she got so mad at me that
He's still dating her a year later?
Yeah.
Of course.
He would like definitely make me feel like they were going to break up and we were going to get together.
Oh, yeah.
But he just never did. And I was like being manipulated by him.
Mm-hmm.
And, granted, I knew it was wrong. But, I thought I was in love with him and da-da-da. But yeah, once Beth found out, she got so mad at me that we didn't talk for like 2 years.
Whoa, girl can hold a grudge.
Yeah.
My sister. I love you, Bethany.
Hey, Bethany.
Look, we've all been to therapy, okay? We've all been to therapy now. We're all a lot better.
Yeah.
It was so, what was so funny about, it wasn't funny at the time, but like, it's very similar to when we were kids, like, because Bethany always hated me when we were kids, and her and Jesse, when they'd hang out, like, Jesse was always fine with me, but like Bethany would be like, no, you can't play with us. But eventually they would fight. They always fought about something. And then Jesse would come sauntering on over to me and was ready to play. And I was like, fuck it, I'll take it. I am desperate. Let's do this. Let's be friends. And then like that 2 years that you guys were on the outs, I was like, well, sweet. Jesse's my best cousin friend now. Sorry, Beth. I was like, it doesn't bother me what she did.
I don't see her having a podcast with Jesse.
No, well, she's got fucking kids and shit, so I know.
So, that doesn't stop you.
I know. Don't talk about my kids. Bethany doesn't know. She's gonna hold a grudge. I told her that if I had a kid, she could have it, and if she finds out that I've been hoarding them at my house not giving them to her,
3.
Shut up.
Oh god.
Cool.
They're all beautiful.
So we all had pretty bad first kisses.
Yeah, that's great.
That sucks.
Actually, it actually makes, I think, listeners, the children who are listening,
go to bed.
Podcast, go to bed. That it's not, and how people put so much pressure on losing your virginity. It's like the same exact pressure, but at a lower level when you're a teenager.
It gets better.
That like the pressure to have the perfect first kiss. Because you watch these movies and you're at like sleepaway camp and the boys camp and the girls camp get together for a dance.
So you're saying it's not normal for me to think on every first date that I drunkenly hook up with? I'm like, what if he's my future husband and I don't remember our first kiss?
Correct. It doesn't matter
no.
the first. What matters is the journey.
Can we? There's our new phrase that's going on a pillow.
Oh, good.
Live, laugh, love. Oh, so God. So we are in the hospital
with a real chill mother who's not freaking out.
Nope, not at all. She's really fucking chill about it. And Grace just woke up. Anyways, Yes. Even though she only had one beer, it doesn't matter because with her new meds, it's gonna ruin her life, basically. Grace feels so alone, and her mom says that if she continues to keep her condition a secret from her friends, she'll continue to feel alone.
Truth.
But she's not alone. Maya stayed at the hospital to make sure she was okay, which is really nice of Maya, considering that
she just
Grace was
stormed off and
huge
yelled at
bitch.
her.
Yeah, she was just really mean to her, and Maya came through. So Maya comes in saying how scary it was and how she's glad Zoe told them to bring her to the hospital. Grace is clearly surprised that Zoe is the person who came to her rescue. And also, like, I thought it was really cool of Zoe to not out her secret.
Right.
Like, she was like, trust me, she needs to go to the hospital, but not saying, like, because you know that's Grace's...
clearly Grace doesn't want people to know, and she'll tell them in her time. That's
Grace's secret to tell. But Grace finally admits to Maya that she has cystic fibrosis. Aww. No, not another aw moment? No.
Aww.
Aww.
Wait, cut it and then go back. Say that one more time. No. What we're saying, aw too.
Okay. Grace finally admits that she has cystic fibrosis.
Aww.
Same
Nailed
octave.
it.
Got it. So then now we're back in the hallway. I guess this is like right before the big volleyball game. Frankie is reading her apology letter to the team, and she says that she wrote it on the wall of the volleyball regional page. The team votes to let Frankie back on, and if other teams have an issue, she won't play.
I like that when they're all voting, the one girl who...
Goldie? Wait, no, who was it that voted last?
The one with the hijab. Hijab, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it.
Goldie, yeah.
She's like standing there looking at everybody being like, but she's race. Okay.
All right, okay. But also Goldie also drew that picture. Like the whole team did it. It was just that it was Frankie's idea, and Frankie specifically drew the monkey. That was so. Yes,
Shay
Frankie
was the only one who wasn't involved.
Yes,
of course.
But that's just the funniness of it. Is that like they are not holding the entire team accountable. They're just holding Frankie. And yeah, the other like girls of color on that team are like, yeah, Frankie's racist. It was like y'all
were all so racist.
Goldie saw the drawing and was like, oh my god, it looks just like her. Like, so yeah, I was like, y'all are pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Whatever, they're friends again.
Yes. Anyways, if the other team has a problem, Shay says they'll take it one game at a time, even though this is the last game of the season. Tiny comes up like, oh, Frankie got a second chance. Shay hugs the crap out of him, and then they kiss, which she follows up with, oh my god, what do we do? He tells her to go win her game. Cut to Lola on the bus being like, yay, we're all BFFs again. Here's to nothing coming between us.
I loved that.
Shay looks worried.
I loved that so much. I was like, what a cliffhanger.
I know, right? Like, nothing bad will ever come between us, girls. We're all best friends.
I can't wait.
None of us are doing anything mean to each other or stabbing each other in the back. Yay, friends!
Have you guys ever dated somebody's ex?
I don't think I have.
Or like had somebody date your ex?
Yeah. I was gonna say I never I don't think I dated anybody's ex. Because generally me and my friends have drastically different.
Yeah, me and my friends have different
men.
tastes for sure.
But in high school, when my high school boyfriend and I broke up, and he started hanging out with this girl Becca. That was a friend of mine. She was a friend of mine. A good friend of mine.
I was going to ask how you felt, but I can clearly hear it in your story. Keep going.
I used to have angry dreams about her where I would beat her up in my dreams. I was so angry. It was literally the moment. Flames on the side of my face. Yeah. Oh my God. I hated her so hard for that. And I actually remember one time, and I'm a pretty mild-mannered gal, but I had a lot of anger for her. I mean, I think there was a lot of other things going on, and like my mom having cancer and shit, like just
light stuff.
Yeah, just light treason. Anyways, but I remember this one time because like the whole time that he and I, my high school boyfriend and I were broken up, we would still like hook up. So like it was like
Sounds
we were
on brand.
What? Shut up! Fuck you. I mean, but yeah, no, it's totally on brand. I'm not done with a man until I say I'm done with a man.
Right.
Okay.
Until you find the next.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if he breaks up with me, like, oh, we're gonna continue to fuck until I'm done with you. But if I break up with you, then I'm done.
Right.
But it wasn't my choice, so we continued to hook up. Basically, like, I would just wear really slutty outfits to school, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I think I want to get back together with you," and I was like, "No." Anywho, so one time, this is probably like the meanest thing I've ever done, like, because I'm not a mean person. But we would walk to class together, like we would sit together in the morning, and then we'd walk to class together, and we both had English, but we were at different classrooms. So like, once we were walking, and I'm like, "Oh, well, class doesn't start for like 5 minutes. Do you want to just like chat?" And he was like, "Oh, I gotta get to class," and I was like, "Your class is like across the hall. Like, what do you mean? It's like what?" He's like, I gotta go." I was like, "Okay." So he would always do this, right? Like he had to get class early for some reason, whatever. So then one time, like we parted ways. I went and put my stuff down, and I had to go pee. So I walk back in the hallway, and I see that he's talking to her in the hallway. And yeah, he like sees me and is like, "Oh no, I've been caught." And I just looked at both of them, and I was like, "Fuck you and fuck you," and then went to the bathroom and like
and wept.
And I mean, internally, I think I held it together in class, but I was like, "Yeah, man, wow." Anyways, it didn't last long between them, and then he and I got back together, and it's fine. I was very confused. Her and I were very drastically different. She was very religious and stuff, and I was like, "I know she's not putting out. She's religious. What are you doing? You can't just like her for her.
Right.
Like that's not how that works."
Not because.
Yeah, exactly. I guess he liked her for her, but long story short, didn't last.
Yeah.
He came back to mama. It took me having a crush on his best friend Joey Gagney, but you know what I mean? All I gotta do is set up a little friendship date where I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with Joey," and he's like, "Wait, what?"
Okay.
I'm like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Can I come?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." And then he wanted to get back together, and I was like, "Surprise, surprise, surprise."
Yeah, I don't think I've not dated anyone's ex. I've only dated people who were like, I never like had a boyfriend in high school, and then once I graduated high school, most of my friends were like scattered around New England, so like it was kind of one of those things where people didn't really have the opportunity to date my ex or vice versa because they weren't around. One of my friends did like make out with someone I had a crush on for a while, and that I was like, oh, but like I let it go, but it definitely stung
because it was just a crush.
Yeah,
it was just a little crush.
Themes. I said, "Oh wow, I love it when I spell things wrong." I'll read what I wrote and then I'll fix it. It's better to talk about things rather than boggle them up.
Now that game can get dangerous.
Don't boggle up your feelings.
Yep.
You gotta roll those dice.
It's a very dangerous game.
I'm pretty sure that's boggle. Again, a lame theme on my part, but I try.
I put crushing on a friend and going for it.
It's harder than you think.
Because they all go for it. It's
they do.
Varying results. Like Grace doesn't get with Zig, but Yael and Hunter are like, yeah, we're in mutual like, and Shay and Tiny kiss.
And then Shay and Tiny, yeah.
Oh, in my mind, I was like, oh, Frankie was crushing on Shay. She went for it. No, you're right though. No, that makes sense too. Damn.
It's beautiful.
Maryanne Carlson.
Yes.
Do you have any
everyone.
social media you want to plug?
I mean, I have an Instagram. It's Maryshkadish, which is my Polish aunt used to call me Maryshkadish because Maryshkana is Polish.
Oh, cute. I didn't know idea why. See, the more you know. I didn't know that's why.
Friendship.
It's
Marishkadish.
Whew.
Maryshkadish.
Don't worry, she spelled it out with her finger on the table.
I did because I had to spell. That's how I used to have to spell my middle name's Margaret, and I could never remember. I still can't. Margaret. It's a very difficult word, Margaret.
Margaret.
I post some fun things. people like following my journey through life.
Yeah.
I have friends that are like, I go to bed and watch your stories because it makes me happy.
We've been told that Maryanne and I need to have a travel blog
Ooh.
because when we went to Ireland together, we posted
We
a lot
were
of fun
having
things.
so much fun, so we need an Instagram of just the two of us.
So if anybody wants to support us
Yeah,
and give us money, we'll totally
we will
travel
travel.
and blog about it for you to enjoy.
and find things that not for tourists,
Mhm.
like just two gals out on the town, hanging out.
And we're gonna call ourselves 5 foot 6 foot.
5 foot 6 foot. That's right.
Well, you can follow us across social media at A Social Disease. Carly still doesn't have anything to follow.
I'm a secret.
I want her to make one for her cat.
Yeah. Because I don't think did I reveal that I got a cat and she's only got one eye and her name is Nick Furry
She's
and I
amazing.
love the shit out of her.
You'll
She's
get so many followers.
She's so cute and she's so friendly and like honestly never leaves me alone when I come home. She crawls.
She perches
She
on her.
She really fucking perches on me. She sits on the edge of my bed and she waits for me to come towards her. And sometimes she just like is up on her hind legs like, are you coming? Come here. I'm gonna fall. Like so she climbs me and sits on my shoulder and I walk around the house and get my things done while she's perched on my shoulder like a parrot.
She's the sweetest.
Yeah, and sometimes I even I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. We doing this? Okay. And she like stays on my shoulder while I'm peeing and I'm like, this is weird, but whatever. And like it's really hard to get my pants up and down with you on my shoulder, but you're hanging on, I guess.
That's what I say.
So I guess that's what I need to have an IG about because she's cute. Yeah.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Jessay, which is JESSAY, or on Instagram at Monday Night Roar, which is RAWR. And don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes.
Give us a good rating, please. We're desperate.
Pew, pew, pew.
Cancel out that weird random 1-star rating.
Yeah.
I don't like when people give 1 stars for no freaking
Yeah, there was
reason.
no.
Yeah, they didn't write about
They
it.
didn't give us anything to work on. We don't know why they don't like us.
Yeah, how are you
I
supposed to
assume
improve?
It was a men's right
How are you
I
supposed to
assume.
not be a racist if you don't know you're a racist?
I'm just saying, we're here to help. We're just a couple of white gals here to help. So join us next time when we discuss season 2, episode 10, #OMFG.
Oh my fucking god.
Season finale.
Whoa.
Oh, there's gonna be a cliffhanger, isn't there?
I
live for cliffhangers.
You better watch the next episode. It's wild.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
And once again, we're your hosts, Jesse Mack,
And Carly Jo Gear.
and this has been a Social Disease podcast.
Thanks for listening.